if you ain't eating money, then you ain't got nothing for me. Tell me something, where your boss at? Some ladies up in here that like to talk, like to see you, like to meet you. What you say to me? She ain't no teacher.
Quietly now. Beyond these hedges, one of the preserve's loudest tokens is already hunting. Notice how it stalks black athletes, black coaches, and especially black women, without wandering far from a television camera. Extraordinary. Welcome to the Sellout Preserve. Here, tokens exchange community membership for warm buttered biscuits, lightly brushed with corporate approval. Our first token once survived entirely on sports. Now it roams through culture, politics, and delusional presidential daydreams. A tiny entertainment mouse whispers instructions into its ear. Occasionally, the token climbs the fence and watches black people living peacefully without blaming one another. Freedom appears possible. Then the mouse rattles the biscuit bag, and down it comes, back to work. Recently, black journalists presented this token with a ceremonial thumbs down. Instead of reflecting, it activated the preserve's oldest defense mechanism. How dare you call me a sellout while I am actively selling out? Magnificent gaslighting. Deeper inside lives the alpha token. While the others sell out black people one television segment at a time, this one can sell out the nation before lunch. It nests among judicial robes, billionaire friendships, and luxury vacations. When offered a biscuit, it never asks who paid, only whether transportation was included. Nearby, another sport-shaped token has discovered that every American problem was caused by black people. Bank discrimination? Personal responsibility. Police misconduct? Personal responsibility. A hurricane? Black fatherlessness. Scientists remain baffled. Across the preserve, smaller tokens gather near podcasts and campaign signs. Whenever white supremacy enters the habitat, they protect it from criticism, blame the nearest black person, and receive another biscuit. Every evening, these independent thinkers repeat identical talking points and wait for the same mouse to ring the dinner bell. Nature is mysterious. Payroll is remarkably consistent. Thanks for visiting the Sellout Preserve.
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. We are up live on Facebook. Be sure to like the WVON page. Interact with me. I'll be sure to talk back with you. If you would like to keep up with me exclusively, be sure to follow me across all social media platforms at Follow Cleopatra. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check me out there. Share with the church at the Cleopatra Show. And we are going to hang out at the Sellout Preserve. Did you dig that audio clip? I know I did. And of course, it's Delta time. It's 9:13. I will take your calls and more at 312-705-5850. That's 312-705-5850. That clip was in direct response to the segment we initiated yesterday and a tribute to Stephen A. Smith. In fact, he wasn't alone. But what rang my bell was the biscuits. You ever jiggle the bag and see who wants a treat? Usually dogs show up for treats, but rats sometimes like biscuits too. That was one of the most in-depth ways of depicting tokenism. So I am going to discuss an in-depth tokenism, and I want to do it from the lens of surviving while being Black in America. What other way to be than to wake up Black and to survive the Hunger Games, not only in education, but in surviving community and otherwise in this city. And what I will say, for those that are listening across the nation, that the Hunger Games of Chicago is like the Hunger Games of Philadelphia, DC, Los Angeles, Hotlanta. But the difference in Hotlanta is everybody black and speak to each other, but that's cool too. In other words, these metropolis cities that are created across the country have some very similar vibes, but so does tokenism. So at this ranch, if you will, it talks about the protection of white supremacy and how it's ladled with excuses and how it uses blackface to be their mask. And if I was to speak in my Paul Laurence Dunbar voice, one of my most favorite poems is "We Wear the Mask." So many folks walk around here like it's Halloween. I can't even tell what costume you're in, let alone what mask you want to be today. And it's not just here in the physical realm, but it's here on earth, right? To whose are you? But when you are a part of tokenism, you whatever pays. You go to the highest bidder. So today I'm discussing tokenism and the impact on Black America. The other day, in fact, this past weekend, the National Association of Black Journalists decided to shake it up. And they gave Stephen A. Smith a thumbs down. Now, my colleague has supported me and sent me a number of Stephen A. Smith's responses. I felt like a few of them fell flat, but of course I'm going to play it up because I want to be fair and the presentation today. But I would love to get your take on it because we've known him to be the voice in sports. But if you listen to the clip, you know, the delusion of a presidential run. They had some uppercuts in this clip that I just played. And I want to hear from you all. When you think about tokenism, can you name a Black token? Just one. I know it's a many, but just one. And, you know, of course, when you name them, you got to give your reason why, right? I don't know if you consider Stephen A. Smith to be a token, but this clip definitely identified him as such, but he was not alone. They also talked about the token that's in the robe in judgeship, and that's your Uncle Clarence Thomas. So I'm going to put two tokens on the table. But what they say is that they all spend the same. And that was the conclusion of the tape, right? So tokens are to be used and they all spend the same. Now, depending on how much you invest in a token, Uncle Clarence Thomas was given lavish gifts, trips, college education for his nephew. I mean, the high life, the high road, and is still sitting on the Supreme Court until the day he dies. Now, that's something. And has been the premier face of gutting the Civil Rights Act. The actual ladder that he used to climb up for affirmative action, once he got through the door, he kicked the ladder down. That Uncle Clarence Thomas. So as we expound upon tokenism today, because usually the clips that I play last throughout the life of our show, I want you to be real reflective in this moment, because I'm going to come back to a clip of Stephen A. Smith. Now, I would love to get your opinion of his response back, but there are some points that I liken to agree with him, but I want to see what you all have to say. But for a man that's been screaming 33 years about sports, now has an opinion on politics, culture, and the whole 9 yards. And it's not to say that a journalist's perspective cannot evolve. And the repertoire of what they write about cannot have evolution pinpoint. I'm not saying that, but I am saying if that's not your wheelhouse, why are you riding that bike? We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
After graduating TTI, I got my CNA license, and an organization called Skills of Chicago helped me get into Northwestern Medicine.
Northwestern Medicine has created a pipeline to medical education and jobs and healthcare for our neighboring communities. It's no wonder we're the third largest private employer in Illinois.
It's a place where it's like a flower. I can just see myself grow.
Because we treat our community the same way we treat our patients. Better.
It's Matt McGill.
President Trump participating in dignified transfer of the bodies of people who were lost in battle. What the hell are we doing putting people in harm's way? Why we got an 18-year-old in harm's way? This girl just graduated from high school. Some of y'all got the nerve to defend Donald Trump? Really? It's a damn shame, man.
Weekdays at noon on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Chicago, are you ready? Chicago Public Schools are back in session Monday, August 24th. It's time to get the backpacks ready, sharpen those pencils, set those alarms, and get 300,000 students ready for another year of learning, growth, and possibility. To every CPS student, parent, teacher, and school leader, we're cheering you on because education is the great equalizer. It's the pathway from opportunity to possibility. Let's start this school year strong. Chicago Public Schools back to school Monday, August 24th. WVON cares.
You've got mail.
Are you an insider? Well, if you're part of the WVON family, you should be. Sign up for the WVON's weekly Insider e-newsletter and stay in the know on all things VON. It's news, it's entertainment, it's the 411 on all things Chicago. Become an insider. Sign up on the WVON app or at WVON.com. You're now connected.
Goodbye.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Back to that accident in the South Loop, a very serious accident involving a car and a truck. That accident has Roosevelt Road shut down in both directions between Clark and State Street. CTA is rerouting the number 12 Roosevelt Street bus, the number 18, as well as the 192 U of Chicago Hospital's express bus. They are all temporarily rerouted. Also, we're monitoring an accident on the outbound side of the Ryan that happened at 69th Street. Traffic right now backed up to the Chicago Skyway. Taking a look at our weather. A mild day in Chicago. The National Weather Service says we're starting out pretty mild in the 60s. We did. Temperatures now climbing through the 70s. We're headed to a daytime high of around 80. Temperatures back down into the mid 60s tonight. But right now it's pretty mild, and 74 at O'Hare is 74 in Austin and 74 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Fourth thing to do is isolate.
Gentlemen, before I take this show, I reached out last night and asked the president of the NABJ to come on this show to have a conversation with me about her assertions that she articulated on that stage. Do you know what she said to me, ladies and gentlemen? She'd rather have a private off-the-air conversation first. Oh, really? So you can go on a public platform, denigrate me, make these accusations against me without calling. But when I challenge you to come on here face to face and have a conversation with me, now we want a private conversation. Before, nah. Ladies and gentlemen,
nah. Listen, guys, you're listening to the TCS. That's right. It's the Cleopatra Show, and it's a turbulent Tuesday. So buckle up, Buttercup. The time is 9:23, and I'm talking about tokenism, putting it on the table. Now, I put your Uncle Clarence Thomas on the table because the two of them are featured in a clip that I opened up with. But I want to know who else There's a long list of sellouts. Let James Brown tell you sold me out for chicken change. Yes, you did. Now, Stephen A. Smith was demanding that the NABJ president come on his platform to talk about the Thumbs Down Award. Now, initially, and I appreciate Titus giving me this clip, initially I was of the same mindset, like, who approved this, ma'am? Like, why would y'all do that? But then I thought about it. Stephen A. Smith, the same troll that would troll the son of LeBron. LeBron, I mean, dude got to be 3 times his size. Walked up to him and said, keep my son's name out your mouth. So, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, do you give those that you troll the opportunity to clap back? No, you look at their performance and you give your journalistic critique, and then you go hamburglar in your screaming Stephen A. Smith voice, and then you go at it. You go ham. So initially I was almost of the same mindset, like, man, you know, why they do them like that? But then I read Tony Snow's comment, and I see you all in the chat, on the phone lines, 312-705-5850. The chat is lit like a crescendo already. Be sure to like and share the show. Tony Snow says, the National Association of Black Journalists, laugh out loud, are just mad because the white man gave Stephen the bag instead of them. Now, whole time, Stephen A. Smith is the highest paid journalist. How did that happen? I'm still trying to figure out. Maybe I need to scream more so Melody Span Cooper can hear me. What my boss lady at? Bottom line is, how is that possible? Is it because he been beating the bag 33 years, or is it true that by declaration he's a token? And then in the clip that I played, what has made him token like? So when you all call me, give me some of the characteristics of tokenism. Now, you heard the opening clip. Are you protecting white supremacy? Are you lost in the delusion of the opportunity of a presidential run? By him dragging Jasmine Crockett, I got a clip to play, because I about agree with him on this one. There were certain black voices that probably he shouldn't have touched, but he did. And he's saying, had they been conservative on the right, y'all wouldn't have said nothing. So is that fair? I would love to hear from you all. Let's talk to Keith. Keith, talk to us. Welcome to WVON. Keith.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Okay. Good morning, Mrs. Draper. Thank you for the form and ability to speak in it. You may not like what I got to say, but I'm going to say it. I agree with our pastor that we are both and not either or. We are not homogeneic, because in my opinion, we can't survive that way. In school, I thought we were taught into the system, take its resource, and bring it back to the community. And so that must involve some tokenism from all of us, right?
I don't know. I surely don't agree with you this morning, Keith. I don't think that. So what is the characteristics of tokenism? Being able to take something? Is that what you're saying?
To be accepted in the system, to go to Midtown Manhattan as an intern, to get that experience by doing whatever you gotta do. Going to Detroit like I did, to dance with Ford and GM and those like I did. Going down south to CBS, the WB and those. Coming back up here, working with 3 banks to dance around.
Oh, so you're talking about to put your values on the shelf and hold your nose to survive the temporary. I hear you.
Gotta do to be able to pay those student loans off and not worry about the felon who's trying to mess you up.
Well, I don't want this to be an attack on those that have survived white institutions like PWIs, whatever the case may be. I think there's a fine line of tokenism. Now, if you shooking and jiving, and if you the black friend that is in the photo with blackface white friends, I think there's lines there. I think if you went along to get along and it was against your core and your values, then you got some deeper issues, because what else would you do for change, right? So I think that there's some things that we've paid the price, and then there's certain things that you're willing to sacrifice. And if you sacrifice your morals and values, what else would you do? So I think that begs a good question in terms of what's the fine line.
So I think the premise I'm trying to make is we can't generalize everybody, because some people are trying to do what they got to do to get where they're trying to get to.
Well, right now we're talking about Stephen A. Smith.
Well, I don't care about him. I mean, he's an outlier, maybe in the statistical range.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's keep it going. Let's talk to Anthony. Anthony, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Queen Cleopatra.
Good morning.
It's ironic you playing Stephen A. Smith. I called him last night. I guess he's doing his rounds, and of course, the first news show he shows up at is Sean Hannity to voice his grievance about how he was treated, and it's to listen to the brother Keith. I understand him somewhat, but we have too many people that thinks like Keith in our community, who's willing to sell their integrity and all their value for personal gain. Because a lot of times, it was like you can't compare Stephen A. Smith to what Brother Keith was talking about. Stephen A. Smith is in it for ambition and monetary. Stephen A. Smith is just a loudmouth. He's a perfect tool that they know they could use. So to compare what this brother was just saying, Keith, and Stephen A. Smith is totally different. It comes a time where you have to value your integrity. I mean, if you have to, starve for a second, that's okay. But to sell your integrity and all your values for personal gain is not it for me.
I feel you.
I posted that video yesterday, the one that you played in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I posted that on my page, and it's dead on. And
it's powerful.
We got so many individuals like for instance, I listened to Charlamagne the God. Before Charlamagne the God got this big $200 million contract from Netflix, I noticed he has got silent on a lot of things. He was very outspoken. That's what drew me to him, is that he was never afraid to speak out on issues. But now I notice Charlamagne he's been kind of quiet lately about issues. He has no opinion anymore about issues, and it's sad that that's.
So would you consider Charlamagne the God a token?
I can't say that right now, but I can say he has gotten very quiet right now.
All right. Well, we gonna keep the radar. I'm actually have Sonya work on that. I have yet to cross paths with Charlamagne. I'm not gonna call no man the God, but Charlamagne it is.
He has gotten very quiet.
No doubt.
Are presented. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Well, good call. Listen, guys, we're going to continue to light up the phone lines 312-705-5850. Please give us a call. When we come back, here's the rumor, and it ain't a rumor no more. FEMA is not pulling up to blue states, and the South suburbs is not going. I have a mayor that is coming to hang out with us to not only put up the WB sign, warn a brother and sister, but tell us what they plan to do to fight back. You don't want to miss this.
Clouds are expected to give way to some sunshine as temperatures climb back into the low 80s. Good morning. I'm in Illinois, and here's what's happening. The mayor of Robbins is still recovering from a minor gunshot injury. Last Saturday, a man identified as Markel Ross, entered a Harold's Chicken and started shooting. Village spokesman Sean Howard says the mayor was picking up food at the time.
Fortunately, it was isolated. The mayor wasn't the intended target. And we're just praying for everyone involved, because I'm sure this was a very traumatic experience for the patrons here as well.
Authorities say a private security guard shot the suspect, who died later. Well, the first public listening session in search for a new Chicago top cop to replace retired Superintendent Larry Snelling is in the books. Perry Williams has more.
Romel Terry, who heads the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, which will select a new police boss, was in attendance last night at Malcolm X College.
We don't know who's going to apply, and our goal is to ensure that we are effectively reviewing every candidate and lining them up to what we're hearing from Chicago.
The commission has 120 days to hear from the public, consider candidates, and submit 3 top finalists to the mayor's office for selection. I'm Perry Williams.
The commission has until November 12th to come up with 3 finalists. Well, buying a concert ticket that is, may require a valid legal ID and a selfie. Ticketmaster has linked up with ID verification company Persona. According to Ticketmaster, the goal is to cut back on abuse by scalpers who buy in bulk to make a profit, as well as to allow people a fairer shot at purchasing tickets. Now, Ticketmaster says Persona will automatically kick in if the system detects fraud and will then require the purchaser to prove they're a real person by matching a photo ID with a selfie. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 9:34.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talk. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONWealthShow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
I am honored to have join me in the studio. It's none other than the governor of the great state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. Welcome to WVO.
Thanks, Rupert. It's great to be here.
Leader Jeffries, good morning and welcome back to WVON. Good to talk to you, good brother.
Good morning, Rufus. Great to be on with you.
Senator Tammy Duckworth, how are you?
It's great. It's great to be back. Thanks for having me on.
We are the talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
Joe's Landscaping. This is Joe.
I'd like an estimate to install a sprinkler system in the forest.
Okay, your property's on forest land?
Oh, no. It is the forest.
I don't follow.
Well, I'm calling around for estimates to install sprinklers throughout our forests.
What?
Let me explain. We're a grassroots group looking for funding to combat people's recklessness with fire in the forest. We can't get funding if we don't have an estimate, so,
Are you serious?
Yeah. We're calling it the National Sprinkler System. Isn't that great?
You want to know how much a sprinkler system would run you for the forest?
Uh-huh.
That doesn't even make sense, sir.
Oh, no. Oh, you know what? You're right. Maybe we should just map out Olympic National Forest first.
Is this a joke?
No. Imagine being able to flip a switch and put a fire out.
Flip a switch. You know how much land you're talking about?
I know it seems big, Joe.
It seems big.
Well, they built that pipeline thing. That's pretty big.
No. I'm sorry. I can't help.
Wait, Joe.
Only you can prevent wildfires. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, the Ad Council, and this station.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Audible. When you start listening to books on Audible, traffic might seem like less of an annoyance and more of an opportunity for another chapter. Audible, stories that speak to you. New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Inbound Ryan still moving along at just about 20 minutes as you make your way from 95th Street into downtown. On the outbound side, we're seeing some big problems. Right there at 69th Street, you want to look out for an accident. It is blocking the left lane. That crash is involving multi-vehicles. We're getting word that as many as 4 vehicles are involved. As you make your way along the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, things are quieted down quite a bit. Now moving along at the posted speed each way. USAPA Lakeshore Drive, recovering from the morning rush. You're down to just about 16 minutes from 67th Street to Jackson. The brake lights right now are happening right around Balboa. Hollywood to Monroe, 16 minutes as well. The Stevenson, much better. A 35-minute trip from I-355 to DuSable Drive 35 traveling out. The Eisenhower shaping up as well, down to 50 minutes from Thorndale to the Burn Circle. That outbound trip will take you 45. And the Kennedy, much better, but still pretty heavy. A 32-minute trip in from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport now down to 30 minutes. Taking a look at our weather, the National Weather Service promising us some sunshine later today. These clouds are expected to give way to sun as temperatures warm up to near 80 today with the possibility of rain. 65 tonight. We're in the 70s right now. It's 73 at O'Hare, 73 in Kenwood, and 73 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Roy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Mr. Hamilton, under President Trump's second administration, nearly 90% of Republican states' disaster assistance requests have been approved. That compares to only 23% of Democratic states' requests. Since the establishment of FEMA, no, and let me highlight, no other president has created such a disparity in states that receive federal disaster aid.
No other president has ever created this divisive action when it comes to the disbursement and the utilization of FEMA. 90% approval in Republican states juxtaposed to 26% approval in blue states. How did we get here with the Federal Emergency Management Agency? And that voice that you heard was United States Senator Gary Peters of the great state of Michigan. When it comes to understanding the deployment, I want us to comprehend that FEMA is federal dollars, and it comes at the distribution on a federal level under the direct management of the appointee of the president of these United States, and at this time is Donald John Trump. So here we are in a historical debacle where, if you didn't know, let me be the first to inform you, Illinois is now the front runner for tornadoes in the country. August feeling like October. I'm confused, but I'm not, because the scripture tells me to be mindful when you no longer can determine what season it is. And these rainstorms, this gust of water and uprooting of trees has disrupted the quality of life across the Chicagoland area. And today we're going to turn our focus to the Southland. And I have a special place in my heart for the Southland. And it really ignited after I had the privilege of managing a Cook County Commissioner's race some years back, and really understanding the terrain and my time, invested interest with Congresswoman Robin Kelly and her rural city-like area was very uniquely made up. So I've had an opportunity to not only pay attention both from a political landscape, but a well-being landscape, particularly in the coverage as a journalist when it comes to the taxation, sometimes without representation in the Southland, but the egregious just tale of two different suburbs when you look to the north and the south and the cost of living. So all around, circularly, I've had an opportunity to have a very laser focus on the Southland. And unfortunately, we're here again because they were hit hard. They were hit hard with severe storms that continue to disrupt the south suburbs. And now we have local officials that are pressing the state and federal governments for disaster assistance funding, but their calls are going unanswered. But that didn't stop them from fighting. So who's on the live line is Mayor Jada Curry of the village of Linwood. And I want to welcome Mayor Curry to her first time on the Cleopatra Show. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How do you feel about that stat that I put out from Senator Peters when it comes to a 90-20% split? Overwhelmingly, 90% of Republican states are being supported by FEMA, and blue states are literally below 30% support?
Well, it's frustrating, and it certainly makes me sad because it doesn't matter if you're a red state or a blue state. We're all Americans, and FEMA is designed to benefit all of us.
And yet your president literally don't give a damn about the conditions, the people, the quality of life. He doesn't see us as one of the same. And yet, how are you all organizing? I understand that there was a press conference because you're not alone. There were several, Dalton, several other cities that can come to mind, villages and alike that came together demanding answers. And who responded to you?
To be very honest with you, we haven't received a response yet. And that is frustrating because our residents are counting on us to offer something to them, even if it's just a glimmer of hope, or to let them know that we're fighting the good fight to get resources into our area. The one beautiful thing that I can say is that the Southland mayors have been working together to at least support each other and to share resources.
And okay, so I'll bring it home because here's the deal. And I give the civics lesson a lot on my show. Pretty much the essence of it is culture, arts, and politics. So at the top of the key, we have our federal, right? So that's FEMA, which is how we can disperse money. And then typically the feds distribute money down to the state. And then from there, the state agencies, of course, step up and provide services. So where is Governor Pritzker with some level of support in absence of the federal government?
I am not here to say anything disparaging against any of our leaders. What I will say is that we have yet to see support on any level. We have seen a declaration from the county, but we are here, boots on the ground, managing this experience. It has impacted us personally. I have a downed tree, my fence is down, we lost power. My neighbors have homes with trees on them. And so, we need resources. We need to bring funds out here to help these residents. I was on the phone with one. She experienced $60,000 worth of loss because her basement flooded. Insurance is not going to cover that. So what happens next for these people?
And I want to clarify. I don't think the point of my question was to disparage anybody, but when it comes to accountability, I do need to beg the question specifically. So if I asked about, in other words, if we're talking about the federal government, then yeah, I'm looking at Donald Trump. And if you said there's been no response, then fine. So then quite naturally, I do pivot to our governor because the allocation does come to the state and there are some resources at the state level. And then across the county, of course, I'm going to look to Cook County Board President Preckwinkle. And then if you were in the city of Chicago, but you're not, of course, I would look to our mayor. So I just want to clarify that level setting because that's usually how one could think or should think before they come and put it all on your desk, because your desk only has so many resources besides you being able to make calls and bridge the line of communication and say, hey, we need help. And from what I gather in the field, there have been a lot of incidents like yours across the Southland, whether it's Lansing, Homewood, Flossmoor, University Park, Glenwood, Park Forest, Dalton, Chicago Heights. That's a lot. And to have no response during election season is even worse. So I am looking to say the things out loud, and whether you can or not, I will, because a mayor can only do so much. And I need for folks to understand, in order to support this sister and her leadership, everybody will have to step up. And I know who has stepped up is Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller, who was out there with you, who's the rising star to serve in the seat thereafter, Congresswoman Robin Kelly. So you have had some level of support, but not enough. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. And I have the luxury of being able to say that both Cook County Commissioner Miller and Congresswoman Kelly are my constituents. They live in Linwood. And so this is personal for them because they have experienced loss. They had loss of power. Commissioner Miller's deck furniture was on her front lawn by the time this was all over. So they see it up close and personal, just as I see it up close and personal, which makes it, it's frustrating, right? I don't want people to come out for photo ops. I don't want you to say, oh, we're so sorry. No, what I want is resources. And so even with the support of Commissioner Miller and Congresswoman Kelly, we have, we're still fighting the fight to get the resources out here to our residents. We need it like yesterday, and no one seems to understand that.
Well, here's my commitment. Because one thing about it, Mayor Curry, they listening. That's why you're here. This platform is for you to do exactly that. This is a bullhorn, right? And the impact. When we come back, I want you to talk about Linwood, because I've had the little privilege to come to a slither of it, but even in its makeup, the demographics, because this impact, I try to tell people, my love for the Southland is deep. My mother was raised in Markham. So, shout out to Mary Powell. When I think about the Southland, it is where hardworking Black folk came for a better life, especially if you was expanding your family. And some of them now are second and third generation. And this impact is devastating, on top of the property taxes you all are paying, on top of some of these areas that have fought the fight for decent water and et cetera. Right. So I can go on, and I know you can too, because you're the reason why you're in the mayor's seat. But I've seen it firsthand, and I can attest to it. So, and here's another issue that is falling on deaf ears, and I'm here to tell you, Mayor, not on my watch. Okay. You got my support. And I want you to know that the listening audience is with you. So you just got to give some marching orders when we come back. Hold tight.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The future of Chicago's children is on the ballot. 21 seats, one school system, one historic election. Chicago is choosing the people who will help determine what happens inside our classrooms, how billions of education dollars are spent, which schools get resources, and which communities get heard. And for Black Chicago, the stakes could not be higher. Who will fight for our children? Who will demand better academic outcomes? Who will confront declining enrollment, school funding, safety, accountability, and the future of neighborhood schools? And most importantly, who will decide the future of Chicago public schools? WVON is going beyond the campaign slogan. We're talking to the candidates. We're challenging the promises. We're asking the questions our community deserves answers to. 21 seats, one school system, one historic election. The decisions made at the ballot box to shape Chicago's children for a generation. Chicago votes, WVON covers it, and you'll hear it first on WVON 1690 AM, the Talk of Chicago.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats, and get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Still tracking those problems on the outbound side of the Ryan. Right there is 69th Street, where there was a major accident there. That crash right now is not blocking any lanes. It is off to the side, but it is involving as many as 4 vehicles. We are registering a travel time as well. You're looking at an 18-minute trip as you make your way from downtown to 95th Street. Taking a look at our weather, we're promised some sunshine. The National Weather Service says turning sunny today and warm as temperatures climb near 80. There is a slight chance, though, of rain later today. Temperatures have been slowly climbing through the 70s. Right now, we're up to 74 at O'Hare, is 74 in Bronzeville, and 74 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And I'll be loving the Southland always. I'm trying to tell you, it's some hardworking Black folk that have dedicated their lives and occupations to not only keeping it in pristine attribute, but keeping it afloat, right? And on the lifeline is one of them. And I am talking about Mayor Curry of the village of Linwood. And I was asking you, Mayor Curry, and I was sending out the back signal at the same time, trying to figure out what I can do. Talk to us about the demographics and the makeup of Linwood.
Sure. So I say that Linwood is the best kept secret in the Southland. It is transforming from a small bedroom community into what I call a more modern day Mayberry, if you will. We're about 70% African American at this point. We're one of the few communities that is still experiencing active growth. We have 4 subdivisions that are actively building. So people are coming to Linwood because they want to live here. It's quiet. It's safe. I've raised my children here. We built a beautiful life here.
Mm. And I hear it in your voice. And my super producer just told me on top of that, you all haven't received state funding either. So is that accurate too?
That is accurate.
Okay. Now, don't you see, you're going to make me pull all kind of rugs. So not only, my biggest gripe, because I drive through, I even look around Lake Park. See, I know a little something about Linwood. I be living on Redfin. Now, I do come out there periodically. But the point that I'm making is folk work hard for everything they got in this moment and in this era, especially if you Black while surviving this country. And the taxing and all of that, to bring balance in your day-to-day work and your commitment as the village president without having state funding, how are you balancing the budget? How is that even possible? I mean, are you robbing Peter to pay Paul? How are you holding it down for the village of Linwood under these conditions?
We're just taking it one day at a time. And we are leveraging the resources that we have access to. We have received a ton of support from private companies that have come out. They're out right now helping us with debris removal. Residents have stepped forward. They've been so neighborly and so wonderful from day one. They've been out there in their boots and their gloves, and they've been helping each other and leaning on each other. And so, we're going to survive. We are resilient. We'll make it. It would be a lot easier if we had the resources and support needed to help with this particular situation, because it's such an extenuating circumstance and it's nothing that we've ever experienced before.
And you know what? That speaks to our resilience as a people, but I think is unfortunate that we always have to resort to that. So here's what I'm gonna do. Now, usually when I make a commitment, I do make an appearance. I will tell you that. Is there efforts underway that you all have organized where folks can come out and support and help? What do you have coming down the pipeline?
We just Sunday we did a Sunday dinner in the park where we had food trucks come out, and it was just an opportunity for residents to come and have a meal with us at no cost to them, and that was due to the generosity of others. And we plan to do that again. So I can certainly share information with you as we continue to plan. Right now, we're just focusing on the day-to-day needs of debris removal, making sure that residents are safe, and making sure that they're mindful of, their mental health and trying to get back to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah, but in all honesty, today is Turbulent Tuesday, and I warn my listening audience to buckle up, Buttercup. And the reality is that there's rain in the forecast, so I don't want to re-traumatize anybody, but I think it's very unfair that this is the condition that you all are in, and you're not alone. The Southland is up against a wall, and I do urge those that are in the position of power to come to not only your aid but to your support. And especially Linwood being the home not only to my congresswoman, but to our future congresswoman and those alike that have made Linwood to be the best that it is, and with the commitment to make it better, are deserving. So I say that not only on the behalf of the Linwood folk, but those that are in the Southland area. I think that this is not right. So I will definitely have my super producer reach back out. As I organize some resources, I will make some calls myself, because anytime Black folks are suffering in any way, it's the worst way, and that's not right. So I want to thank you for your time, your commitment. I want you to come back and give us a report of how we can support whenever the next dinner is. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna grab some gloves. You don't have to live there, guys, to have a helping heart and a helping hand. You have to show up. And I am speaking to those that are in the position to do something about this, not just those that are listening that care. And one thing about it, Mayor Curry, my listening audience cares.
I appreciate that. And we welcome the help, even if it's just, individuals who are out here willing to just give somebody a hug because they're having a bad day and trying to figure it out. It is definitely needed. And we're just going to continue to lean on each other. And we're going to continue to fight to make sure that resources are delivered to Linwood and the entire Southland.
All right. Well, you got a home here on the TCS. Make sure we come back soon with some information on how we can support. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Cleopatra. Have a good day.
Absolutely. So listen, guys, when we come back, the phone lines are yours. 312-705-5850. Brother Hall, Mark Carter, Addie, I'll take your calls and more. And I see you all in the chat. You don't want to miss this.
Partly cloudy skies giving way to sunshine as temperatures climb near 80 on this Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. I'm NF Lenoy. Into the headlines. Thousands in Northwest Indiana, including Gary, have been without power for days, and many are relying on food giveaways following devastating storms last week. Also, the city of Gary is declared a local disaster emergency, and all of Indiana declared a statewide disaster emergency. Well, the Cubs defeat the White Sox in Monday's Crosstown Classic at Wrigley. No losers here. Both teams are World Series contenders. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 10:02.
BIN News Now. Some Southside residents are speaking out against a proposed data center redevelopment at the former Southworks Steel Plant site. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
If they were to do that, they would be strictly bound to the executive order that I have put forth to provide stronger regulations.
Opponents say they have concerns about the project's impact on the surrounding community. Netflix is seeking to dismiss Tyra Banks' defamation lawsuit over its America's Next Top Model documentary. Banks claims the film created a misleading portrayal of her role on the show, while Netflix says it stands by the documentary and plans to vigorously defend it in court. And Colin Kaepernick is marking nearly a decade since his protest against police brutality by committing $1 million to community organizations through his Know Your Rights camp. The initiative will fund education, legal rights, mental health, and youth programs in Black and brown communities. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Back to Terry McCready.
3 U.S. states are holding primaries today, while California is holding a special U.S. House election. Races for the House, Senate, and governor are being held in Alaska, Wyoming, and Florida, where a crowded field of GOP candidates, including Black Representative Byron Donalds, is hoping to replace term-limited Governor Ron DeSantis. Several Democrats are also running. In California, 2 Democrats emerged from the June primary to see who will serve out the remainder of former Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell's term. Swalwell resigned after he was accused of sexual assault. Meanwhile, in Florida, Black progressive House candidate Elijah Manley is blasting Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz for attempting to dilute Black representation by running in a newly drawn South Florida district where she faces 4 Black candidates.
Yes, she has seniority and she has been an ally in many ways, but she should run in the 22nd district where she lives, where she could have helped pick up a seat for the Democratic Party in the midterms to add to our majority. But my lived experience as someone who grew up after the 2008 financial crisis and homelessness, we lost everything. That lived experience is so important in the district right now.
27-year-old Manley on NBC News. He says the former Democratic National Committee chairwoman's decision to seek re-election in Florida's redrawn 20th congressional district is cynical. President Trump is defending his directive to the Pentagon to scale back joint military exercises with South Korea. Trump telling reporters yesterday he had spoken with South Korea's president about getting a hand with Iran and was turned down.
When I called him, I said, would you like to give us a little hand? We don't need help with Iran, but if you'd like, give us a hand with Iran. He said, no, thanks. And I said, wait a minute, we have 39,000 soldiers over there guarding you from Kim Jong-un.
Trump said he was disappointed with the response given the U.S. has 39,000 troops stationed there guarding against any attack from North Korea. Trump said the U.S. cannot go around and protect all of the countries, especially when they are not around to help us. An attempt to address California's housing shortage is back on the November ballot. Proposition 1 asks California voters to approve borrowing over $11 billion for affordable housing. The plan includes just over $1 billion for veterans loans. Most funding comes from state bonds repaid by taxpayers. Supporters say thousands of housing units are ready to move forward but need funding. Opponents argue borrowing more won't fix the crisis and could cause long-standing unexpected costs for taxpayers. According to the state, the total cost could reach nearly $17.5 billion over 3 decades. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow BIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WBON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Chicago, are you ready? Chicago Public Schools are back in session Monday, August 24th. It's time to get the backpacks ready, sharpen those pencils, set those alarms, and get 300,000 students ready for another year of learning, growth, and possibility. To every CPS student, parent, teacher, and school leader, we're cheering you on because education is the great equalizer. It's the pathway from opportunity to possibility. Let's start this school year strong. Chicago Public Public Schools back to school Monday, August 24th. WVON cares.
This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy saving programs and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Focus this break is on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. We're seeing some minor delays northbound right around Balboa. Then again at Monroe, we attribute those to stoplight delays, not affecting your travel time as much. You're still looking at just about a 15-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson, Hollywood to Monroe. Now moving along at the posted speed. Taking a look at our weather, these clouds are expected to give way to some sunshine today as temperatures climb near 80. The National Weather Service says we could see some light sprinkles later this afternoon. Temperatures going down to around 65 tonight, but right now we're at 75 at Midway. It's 75 at Rainbow Beach and 75 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flurnoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time, of course, is 10:10, and it's a turbulent Tuesday, so buckle up, Buttercup. We just stepped into Linwood, and Linwood is devastated by the tornadoes and the water and the rain and the uprooting of trees, the damage, calamity, basements flooded. You know, you heard her. One resident has $60,000 worth of damage in this economy. So I just personally made some calls. I tried to not expend all of the juice, but what's the beauty of having context if you can't help? And you all should make sure that you uplift leaders that can do just that. Too often, you all keep folk that can't move a needle, let alone the nozzle. What you got them for? I literally just heard this woman say, and this woman being Mayor Curry, there's been no resources to come help. That is unacceptable. It's election season. Need I remind you? This the time where you're supposed to show up and say, hey, I don't care if it's to water my flowers. You're supposed to come with gifts. All you all are accepting is book bags and some socks and a winter coat and as soon as November hit, a turkey that's been frozen from 3 years ago. Stop playing with me. Stop it. Because they playing in your face, not mine. I've made it very clear. When I want to go home, trust me, I go home play with my children. I got enough there. I can play all day long. They gonna outplay me. And those are the only ones I allow to play with me. I have Black folk that have worked hard, suffering in the Southland. Not just suffering to pay the taxes, fight for their schools, their quality of life, but to overcome disaster. And by declaration, by all means, it is a disaster, an environmental one, not of their making. And I've seen nobody come to the Calvary. But that's, from what I hear, that's not all the case. So I'm going to have a special guest on tomorrow because I just made a call. And I got some folks that's all over that beat like sprinkles. And they are interested in organizing resources. But absent of the state is unacceptable. So I don't think that that's fair. Absent of your federal government is unacceptable. As tax-paying residents and citizens in this country, that is unacceptable. So then I ask you all, why we often beg and question what other people got, what you got being Black while surviving America? Another day. Keep hope alive. Stop playing. Now, getting back to the conversation at hand, Stephen A. Smith. We've been talking about tokenism, right? And our understanding of what exactly does that mean, right? What are the qualifications of tokenism? And who would you define to be a token? If you were to pick let's say, just a person, or just one, and it's so many. I can identify your Uncle Clarence Thomas without batting an eye. I mean, he single-handedly has lived long enough to be the most destructive factor to the civil rights movement, era, and legislation in 2 lifetimes. Single-handedly. Now if that's not diabolical, I don't know what is. And to make it even worse, not only is he single-handedly the most destructive player of it, he was a recipient. So, when I think about your Uncle Clarence Thomas, make no mistake about how I feel. Now, Matt Rash is on the ones and twos. Matt, I just sent you a clip I want to play. Now, Stephen A. Smith has been going Hamburglar. Now, if you know anything about McDonald's, the Hamburglar was that dude. Everybody thought Ronald was it, but Ronald was a little weird to me. The Hamburglar was priceless. He was just G'ing everything. He saw a lick, he was going to lick it. You couldn't put a hamburger in front of him and he didn't want it. Let's play this clip.
This is not objectivity. This was a smear job, but it won't stop me. I don't want enemies, but I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to call things as I see them, which I've earned the right to do over a journalism career that now spans 33 years. I was good enough to celebrate and to bring on board when I was showing up there. And the second I'm not there, I get a thumbs down. And we throw out a very incendiary critique of me, accusing me of disparaging Black women. When what you really meant to say is that I'm disparaging liberals because I happen to disagree with some of the things that the left is doing. People behind the scenes in the political stratosphere, in my opinion, influenced your decision to do what you did. If these so-called disparaging things I did were true, and I was saying it about Black female conservatives, you wouldn't have said a word, which means it's not my credibility that's in question. It's yours, because a journalism organization ain't supposed to be doing that.
Stephen A. Smith is responding to NABJ giving him a thumbs down. Now, I'll open up with a clip that was mind-blowing about tokenism and the tokenism farm and, how they like biscuits when they have delivered. They protect white supremacy and other attributes. I would love to hear from you all because Stephen A. Smith says an entity like that should not have had a response. Now, this is the same man that has trolled Angel Reese, that has trolled not only LeBron, but LeBron's son and other athletes alike, and has now grown to have political opinion. I won't give him political chops because a lot of folks like to talk about politics. And last I checked, you don't even have a voting record. See, people be fooled. I like when people play with me. We'll go operative in a heartbeat on you, especially when you don't even have a leg to stand on. And I am saying the quiet parts out loud today because you have to. Stephen A. Smith wants to do the things that he has not done for other people. He wants to be called and hasn't allowed other people to call on him. But I want to hear from you all. Can you name a Black token? And then as we discuss tokenism, I want to hear your opinion about Stephen A. Let's talk to Eddie. Eddie, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Hey, Cleopatra, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm buckled up, Buttercup. Take me on a ride. Where we going?
Yeah, there we go. Strap in tight because it's going to be a bumpy flight.
I like it. Let's go.
Yep. Okay. First of all, totally agree with Stephen A. Smith, but I'm going to take it even further. And this is from personal experience and observation as a former corporate executive, now private business owner. Bougie Negroes hate when non-bougie Negroes get the bag that they feel that they should have got from the white man, because they spent all their life emulating and imitating rich white people, primarily rich white liberals. But when they don't get what they think they were supposed to have gotten, and some Negro comes in that's not carrying themselves like they do, they hate on them all the time. They did it with the rappers. Oh, how can Kanye have a deal with Adidas? He doesn't know. What does he know about shoemaking? I've been studying manufacturing for over 50 years, from Howard and on and on. Jay-Z, they hated on 50 Cent with the vitamin water deal. It just drives them crazy when somebody that's not of their ilk makes more money than them. Stephen A. Smith is at the top, and any of them Negroes would they would show up to work and give the news in MAGA draws for $25 million guaranteed X over a number of years. So let's just stop playing. Most of us that work for white entities are tokens, whether we want to accept it or not. Sure, you have a skill set, but you kill two birds with one stone, because they can say, well, we got X number of Negroes working for us. I had no illusion about that when I was working in corporate, but a lot of Negroes feel like, no, I got here by myself. No, you got here because Jesse Jackson and people like him made us think about us not being in these spaces. And now that we start believing in the BS. But it's still BS at the end of the day.
Now, Eddie, you said a thing there. Everything you said and then some, because the late, great Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. kicked open more doors than a little bit, and folk have amnesia. I meet folk all the time that by the time I done had to ask, I've re-asked the question 5 times to get down to the point of, oh yeah, he did help me get here. Then just come out with it. So let me ask you this. When we're talking about tokenism, can you also say, is that the least offensive one, or the least offensive is what come to mind? I think about that statement all the time, because what does that mean, right? Is it the non-aggressive one? Is that the black girl with the neck moving? What does tokenism look like? Is that the safe Negro? What is, in layman terms, what is it?
Well, to me, I don't really call it tokenism or selling out. I call it cashing in. At the end of the day,
but they said that too. Tokens cash. They spend.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, most of us go to college with the hopes and dreams of working for a white corporation or entity. That's black people and white people. And if you're black, you got to play the game. So I judge a person not by how they play the game on the field, but more how they play it off the field. So if you can go to work every day, play the game, but you understand that it's still BS at the end of the day, and when you get off, you keeping it real, and you helping brothers and sisters along the way every step that you can, then to me, you get nothing but a salute. Because at the end of the day, we all getting paid by the white man. At the end of the day, we depend on him for our daily living. He doesn't depend on us for his. And until that dynamic changes, we got to play the game.
Understood. Addie, I appreciate, I was strapped in for that ride. I love that one. Who gonna take me on the next ride? I see Mark Carter, TJ, Brother Hall, 312-705-5850. It's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show, and we're talking about all things token. And Stephen A. Smith, we looking at you, your Uncle Clarence Thomas. I want to hear from you. Who could you identify? Because like Eddie said, if it wasn't for the late, great Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. kicking in the doors, half of you all wouldn't even be able to declare yourself to be a token, but you're still cashing in. That's what tokens do. They spend. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Growing older doesn't mean slowing down. It means embracing a new chapter. Join Dr. LaDonna Ray for Senior Talks, featuring honest conversations about health, family, finances, community, and living your best life at every age. Get information you can use and inspiration you can carry with you. That's Senior Talks with Dr. LaDonna Ray, Saturdays at 7 a.m. only on WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Financial freedom starts with access.
Fifth Third Bank is breaking down barriers to banking with tools and programs that help you build credit, save, and grow. Our mission is simple: empower every Chicagoan to move forward, because economic mobility means opportunity. This is banking a Fifth Third better. Visit 53.com to learn more. That's 53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Aclivis Incorporated, in partnership with 3rd Ward Alderman Pat Dow, State Senator Maddie Hunter, and State Representative Kimberly Dubuc-Clay, presents the free back-to-school haircuts and hairstyles event on Sunday, August 23rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with music provided by Power 92's own DJ Nathis. Kids ages 5 to 17 can receive free haircuts, hairstyles, backpacks, and school supplies while supplies last at participating locations. Another barbershop, 843 East 47th Street, House of Heteras, 251 West 95th Street, Hair Experts Barber College, 216 East 47th Street, Hair Experts, 5401 South Wentworth, Studio B Barber Salon, 2113 South Pulaski Avenue, RV Barbershop Bronx Cuts, 15306 Page Avenue, Bronzeville Barber and Beauty Salon, 122 East 35th Street, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Services for boys and girls are available at select locations. For more info, call Aclivis at 312-766-7145. Supported by the Sisterhood and Grand Boulevard Prevention Services.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me+3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me+3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
It's the afternoon show.
Those people that are saying, I am not my ancestors, are speaking from a place of privilege only given to them by their ancestors. So how can you come here now, right, when they've shed all the blood, when they've been bitten by all the dogs, when they've been hosed down by all the hoses, when they've been slapped in the face by all the cops, and here you come after laws have been passed to say what you wouldn't allow? I am not my ancestors. I think that is insanely disrespectful.
Weekdays at 3 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
We're now tracking a couple new accidents. This one right now on I-57 is northbound at Salt Trail Road. It is blocking the right lane there. Traffic backed up to Stager. And as you make your way along the outbound side of the Eisenhower, we're seeing some gaper delays due to an inbound accident at York Road. That accident is involving a rollover. Taking a look at our weather, these clouds are expected to give way to sunshine. Temperatures are expected to climb near 80 today, so turning warm and pleasant. The National Weather Service says, though, we might see some scattered showers later today. Right now, temperatures still in the 70s. We are looking at just right now at 75 still at O'Hare. It's 75 at Rainbow Beach still, and 75 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flurnoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:27. And I did have another Stephen A. clip, but I will play it after I'm going to take some of these calls because you all got something to say about tokenism. So here's the rules. I've asked for the question of the day, can you name a Black token? But what are the characteristics? Now, some of you all, like Keith and Eddie, well, you're in denial. You didn't survive these white institutions career-wise, and you are in denial that you were that Black token. And then some of you all think, I'll take it a step further. Maybe you champion the rah-rah speech around the water cooler talk. I don't know. Some of you all broke free of the funny farm. Actually, I do work in a black business. It's WVON. But for what it's worth, when you hear Stephen A. Smith call out the NABJ president for not calling him to have a discussion before they gave him a overwhelmingly thumbs down, is it fair for Stephen A. Smith to even demand that, seeing as how he has dragged whole ass of a lot of folk without any fair warning? Because you can't tell me you don't call all of those people. See, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let me tell you, before my daddy left this earth, he said it's never any fun when the rabbit got the gun. I'm going to take some more calls. Let's talk to Mark Carter. Mark, indulge us. Welcome to WVON.
Well, see, first off, I don't care what no immigrant think, no way. I mean, Stephen A. Smith is an immigrant, whether he's right or wrong. You know what I mean?
Immigrant? Where you from, Mark?
See, a lot of these people y'all keep calling black. You know what I mean? If you look at
Mark, where is he from? Just answer the question.
He's not one of us. Okay.
He's not like us. I got to come through that. Mark, just tell me where the brother from.
Ma'am, I'm saying to you, I don't have
ma'am, it's Cleopatra, Mark. Come on, man. We better than that.
I don't have time to spend that much time.
Tell me where he from. You started off with the immigrant talk. So where he from?
Go look him up.
Now we got to go look him up. See, when you start something and you don't want to finish it.
I'm telling you emphatically that he's not one of us.
So then tell me emphatically, where is he from?
I don't have to keep going that far up into that, ma'am.
Oh my goodness, Mark.
So now let me get to the next point.
Okay.
And when you look at most of Hollywood, most of those are not our people. And we allow them to say what they want to say. They ain't got nothing to say when it comes to us. Mind their business. Okay, and that goes for all of them. Mind their business when it comes to our people. And that's what we don't do enough. Tell people to mind their damn business about our business. Okay? One thing I got to give to them Jews, you get in their business, they're going to let you know. Stay out of our business. Mind your business. Right? Now, the second point. Clarence Thomas with DEI, the minority program that benefited white women, he did the right thing, shutting it down. We don't need no few black folks to benefit from nothing that our people fought for. If it's not going to be widespread for us, get rid of it. So thank Clarence Thomas. And the only people upset are those who benefited from it and who continue to deny the rest of us. Now,
here's the deal, Mark, because I hate when you spill misinformation. Now, Stephen A. Smith was born in the Bronx. So what makes him an immigrant?
That don't mean because he was born in the Bronx.
What makes him an immigrant? He was born on American soil, man.
I know you're a Pan-African.
Oh, my God, Mark. Don't make me hit the button, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. He was born on American soil. So why would you say he's an immigrant? Why would you say that? I've asked you a question and you said emphatically he was not, you said it was an immigrant.
I just asked you a question.
No, but I just answered the one. Here you go, Mark. Mark, you be talking crazy. Listen, guys. It is Turbulent Tuesday, and goddamn it, I'm buckled up for a wild ride. But what I will not do is entertain foolishness on a Tuesday. And you can go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and back to Monday. I'm too intelligent for that. If you want to play, go call on somebody else's show. Do not disparage this man. And I won't say that being an immigrant is disparaging. Stop it. He's born on American soil. So stop moving the rules and playing. I'm the big black hope on a 50-yard line, and they not playing fair. And here you go thinking you can change the rules too. It don't apply to you because you black. We'll be back.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
When it comes to celebrating our Chicagoland communities, Wintrust is here for it. We're proud to support small businesses in our own backyards, like Anderson's Bookshops, with locations at 123 West Jefferson Avenue in Naperville and 5112 Main Street in Downers Grove. La Fruteria Incorporated, imported foods from Africa and the Caribbean, located at 8909 South Commercial Avenue in Chicago. Kitchen and Bath Authority, exquisite collections of bathroom accessories and more at 611 West Roosevelt Road in Wheaton.
Chicago, one night only, the Destiny's Child Iconic Reimagined Tribute, live at the Congress Theater, Saturday, August 29th. Experience the songs that defined a generation, reimagined. A 5-piece string ensemble delivers a fresh, symphonic take on the hits you love, blending contemporary sound with those signature harmonies and empowering lyrics. Narrated by Matthew Knowles, the management powerhouse behind Destiny's Child. Upgrade to VIP for an exclusive meet and greet. Tickets are moving fast. Get yours now at destinyschild.com. Say my name, Chicago.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON. Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik. You've seen him on cable TV. Now hear his spirited conversation on the Talk of Chicago. The question at hand is raising voices of the Negro. That plain and simple. Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
Craig Hodges on the line with us. Craig, thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank God for us getting a chance to talk across airways, brother.
Tim Hardaway on the live line with us.
Love coming back home to Chicago.
Alonzo Mourning, legendary NBA ball player. Welcome to WVON.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me.
We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
These clouds are expected to give way to some sunshine as temperatures climb near 80. Good morning. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. While 97,000 NIPSCO customers remain without power following last week's devastating storms and flooding, there is some state and federal aid finally coming to the rescue. Perry Williams has more.
The utility hopes to restore electricity to everyone by Friday. This Gary resident has been without power since last Tuesday.
I don't have a generator because I was so nervous about a fire with the gas. So just been using ice, little camping gear with batteries in it, and just go old school.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun announced $5,000 grants to help storm victims across the state. The funds can be used for food and clothing. I'm Perry Williams.
Governor Pritzker has not asked for federal aid from the federal government. Well, the countdown is on. The first day back to class for Chicago public school students is just 6 days away. Meanwhile, the Chicago Teachers Union is suing a nonprofit for defamation. The C2U filed a lawsuit accusing the Illinois Privacy Institute of taking part in a campaign to harm the union's reputation. The suit says the organization bashed the CTU finances and its president, Stacey Davis Gates, in a social media post and articles, falsely claiming the labor union committed fraud, used dishonest accounting, and misused funds. Well, the Chicago Cubs defeated the White Sox in Monday's Crosstown Classic at Wrigley. Now, Cubs outfielder Pete Crow Armstrong says it felt great to walk it off with a home run.
That was my first career walk-off homer. So that's fun to note. Yeah, I love these games because, that's not always going to happen. But when it does, it's nice to appreciate the stuff that went right.
White Sox manager Will Venable says it was another battle until the end.
This is what great players do. This is what great players do. And when we've got so many a number of these moments during the season from Pete.
Now the score was 7-5. No losers here, though. Both teams are World Series contenders. Later today, they go back at it again on the north side. Well, Serena and Venus Williams teamed up for a doubles match yesterday. It was the first time the two legends have been on the court together since the 2022 U.S. Open. They played in Cincinnati. They said they had a good time on their return to doubles despite suffering an opening round defeat at the Cincinnati Open. Venus and Serena have won 14 Grand Slam doubles titles and 22 total. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVO News Time, 1038.
This report is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Back out on I-57 right now, northbound at Salt Trail Road. There is an accident there. That accident still blocking the right lane. Traffic backed up to Stager Road. Taking a look at our weather, the National Weather Service has promised that some sunshine is taking a while, but they said it's expected to come, as well as a few sprinkles later today as well. We're looking toward a daytime high of right around 80, a low tonight of 65. Right now it's 76 at Midway. 76 at the Obama Presidential Center, and 76 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Vernoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
And we are back. The time is 10:39, and it's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. And now, this is why summer school is cool. So, class, listen up. I want to raise, before I bring up our special guest, I want to raise Craig Crosby's comment. He says, Stephen A. is not an immigrant. Trump got people tripping on this immigrant bait, hook, line, and sinker. Stephen A. Smith's parents, Ashley and Janet Smith, were originally from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. So this is in response to Mark, because I want to believe I'm fair, and the class has definitely attended to that. But Mark came out the gate accusing him of being an immigrant, as though it's a dirty little word. And in this regime, they'll have you think that it is. And in fact, it is what makes America great, which is why we're suffering, because we're purging some of our talent from America. And it doesn't take away from those foundational Black people that have built America. I said those that have added to. A little bit about the United States Virgin Islands for those that say, well, that ain't none of us. Okay. Let me use Mark's word. Look it up. The United States territories. This was purchased 109 years ago. The U.S. took formal possession of the islands on March 31st, 1917, after purchasing them from Denmark for $25 million in gold during World War I. And that includes St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, and of course, the Virgin Islands. So, and all of that was transferred on that day. So in addition to our misinterpretation of, territories, Stephen A. Smith was born in the Bronx. Hence, screaming Stephen A. Smith, New York to and through. That's like saying I'm not a thoroughbred when it comes to Chicago, born and raised. I blow in like the Chicago wind, right? So to say that is just beyond me. And I cannot ignore that, right? And then when you say they not like us, so all pun intended when we coming back with that clap back. What is us? You speak a lot of French. Parlez-vous français? Right? This we, this us, like what? This mindset. I can't compute. Now, if you want to call into the station, especially on the TCS, what you doing on everybody else's show, God bless them. But there's a reason why my show popping like fish grease on a Tuesday while y'all at work listening to me. It's not prime time, but it's prime time, baby, because on this show, you all are the star. That's why you show up. and you earn your extra credit. And this is why summer school is cool. You're going to always take away a lesson from me. And I got them for days. All gas, no brakes. Now, if we're going to talk about tokenism and you're going to identify to whose it is and to what its attributes are, I'm going to raise some pro and con of Stephen A. But at the end of the day, the conversation is being had. That's why you are showing up for class. And of that, the lessons are what? Is immigrant a dirty word? Is that the new conditioning of the Negro when you say not like us? Because I ain't none of that. Right? So, like I said, some of you all won't identify the immigrant Negroes that you are a fan of. Didn't even know that they were. And I'm here to ask, why did it even matter? But see, they got you confused. And you probably saying, who is they? I'm saying the person that consumes the space in your head that got you confused about who is the threat. That is who they is, whoever you identify it may be. You know, and it is amazing to me. That's why the poorest of whites still will show up for the racism. While they selling their plasma day to day, you better read the New York Times. They still will show up for the racism as long as they're keeping somebody of color down because they're sick. And I can find the same ideology and the same thought process amongst us. And the moment you find out if this person is Jamaican and black, do you treat them differently? Some of you all say, yeah. Just ignorance, right? So bottom line, Stephen A. Smith is a thoroughbred from the Bronx, New Yorker. Now, what else you got to say? Stop it. Now, for the phone lines, Pam, Randy, TJ, Thurgood, I want you all to hold tight. 312-705-5850. I definitely want you all to weigh in. Meanwhile, I came across this story because I could not accept it. Chicago is paying the most in school supplies than any other place in the country. I read all across the spectrum. And it's not just because I'm a mom. I'm a former educator. I served on the local school council. You can put me in any box categorically. I care about children. I care about parents. I care about quality of life. And what's so special about Chicago? And why is Chicago paying more than any other place in the country? Let's talk to our very special guest, Jeneen Thomas. She's with Cradles to Crayons. Welcome, Jeneen, to the Cleopatra Show.
Hi, Cleopatra. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely. I hate that you had to hear that lesson, but class is in session.
Listen, I enjoy every bit of that.
So come through. I mean, when I saw this, I feel like we just can't get a fair shake in the city. So talk to me about what's going on. Why is Chicago so special? Why are we paying so much for school supplies than any other place in the country?
Well, I mean, honestly, Cleopatra, it is just due to the overall rising costs that I think we all are experiencing. So we're seeing inflation across the board, from cost of housing to cost of living, how much our groceries cost, how much it costs to fill up a gas tank. Those are also impacting things like traveling costs, how much it costs for someone to get on a train or bus to get to and from work. And so the families that we serve in our organization are continuously challenged with making ends meet. So imagine spending the whole year trying to make tough decisions about food and housing and supporting your children, and then you receive a long list of 20 plus items these days of school supplies that you now are responsible for purchasing so that your child can be ready to learn come the first day of school.
And there's always a fight to do that, especially given the debacle that's going on in Chicago public schools to fill the gap and balance a budget. I have to figure out how to find at least an 8%, 7 to 8% hike to support the school supply list, like make it make sense. So, you know, for those that are constantly looking high and low of where can they fill the void in the gap, I know that there's been a number of back to school events to no end throughout the city, but is there a back to school bank or a facility of where parents can just say, hey, you know, the resources you have, is there a checklist, an inventory, just like a food bank?
Yeah, so the way that Cradles to Crayons distributes our product is through our network of local service partners. So we have a network of over 107 partners that receive product from us all year round. And so one of the ways that families can seek support is through our website. So cradles2crayons.org/Chicago. There's an I Need Services button on our page, and families can go in and click on that button, type in their address, and a list of our partnering organizations will show up where they can contact or reach out to them or go in person to see what resources and supplies they may have to offer. I would also suggest to utilize our community centers. We have centers such as Trina Davila, our King Center on 43rd and Cottage Grove. We have Chicago Public Libraries, and all of these spaces are gravely underused historically, and we need to do our best to keep them open. And in fact, those are the spaces that are assisting us to fill the gap.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. So give us a little background before I let you go about Cradles to Crayons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Cradles to Crayons, we're a national nonprofit. Our mission is to provide children living in houseless or low-income situations with the essentials that they need to thrive at home, at school, and at play. Those essentials could include items such as clothing and shoes, as well as school supplies, and we provide all of these items at no cost to the service partners who receive them from us, as well as the families that receive them across the Chicagoland area.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all stepping up to fill the void because families, particularly working families, are in need. And when I read this, I was very devastated, as though we needed one more cost to increase or to hike. I'm going to start making crayons. You really want to know the truth? My babies rip off the paper anyway. I just be like, I just bought these. Now I got to hijack them back. I be loaning them colors. I said, well, what color you want? Can I get that color back? But it's that serious in my house if I want some crayons to last. So I'm going to start making them in a little bit because I can't afford them. You laughing, Jeneen. I got 3 of them.
It is very expensive. And I appreciate you calling out, Cleopatra, that these are working families, because I also believe that there's a misconception that the only families that or individuals that need support are non-working, when indeed there are families that are getting up every day and working just as hard as the next person. And because of these rising costs, are still finding troubles with providing everything that their children need to thrive.
Absolutely. So please let us know, again, ways in which families that are in need, working or not, can support their children.
So head over to our website, cradles2crayons.org/Chicago. Click on I Need Services and type in your address or zip code, and a list of nonprofit organizations, community-based organizations will pop up in your area where you can seek support, or head over to your nearest Chicago Public Library or community center to get resources. You can also use 311, which has a list of organizations that provide a variety of resources as well.
Well, I'm going to put that link in the chat. I thank you for stopping by. And don't be a stranger, okay? Absolutely.
I will not. Thanks, Cleopatra.
And when we come back, Randy, Pam, TJ, Thurgood, I see you on the live line. I see you all in the chat. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Ada S. McKinley provides behavioral and mental health services at 4 Southside clinics. They serve people of all ages with a strong focus on therapy, counseling, and youth crisis. Their counselors and mental health professionals are well-trained and experienced in treating problems caused by emotional distress and or trauma. To schedule an appointment, call 312-761-1099 or visit adasmckinley.org.
Summer is here, the season of sunshine, swimming, picnics, and the freedom to have fun and enjoy yourself. United Fidelity Bank believes freedom starts with smart savings. Whether you're hanging with friends and family or enjoying a summer night, your money should still be working for you. Open a United Fidelity Bank 18-month certificate of deposit with a 4.35% annual percentage yield. It's a simple, steady way to grow your savings, letting your money work for you. At United Fidelity Bank, they focus on you, your needs, your goals, your questions. Their personal service is something you will not find at a big box bank. Get the experience you need and the service you deserve. Stop by their Chicago flagship branch at 1701 West 87th Street to open your 18-month, 4.35% APY CD today. Or visit UnitedFidelity.com. United Fidelity Bank, where your summer of smart savings begins.
Rate subject to change at any time. CDs renew automatically to the standard rate in effect at the time of renewal, unless instructed otherwise. Member FDIC.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Grab your crew and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Our focus is on the Eisenhower right now. That earlier accident on the Eisenhower, did it disappear? It just went off. So now we have no earlier accident. That's been cleared. However, now we're tracking some moving road work that's happening on the outbound side right now, right at Sacramento. Traffic slow between the Burn Circle and Sacramento because of that moving road work. Let's take a look at our weather. These clouds are giving way to sunshine as promised. The National Weather Service says we're headed to a daytime high of around 80. We're inching our way closer to that now. We're up to 76 at Midway. It's 76 in Auburn, Gresham, and 76 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:55. It's a Turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show. I want to thank Jeneen Thomas, Director of Partnerships and Engagement with Cradles to Crayons. I found that tidbit to be very interesting. The cost of school supplies here in Chicago is more than any other place in the country. Thank somebody. Should I blame Trump? Should I blame the war that Trump created? Should I blame the leadership? Is this a federal issue that has trickled down, that is impacting everyday working families here in Illinois and throughout the Chicagoland area? Absolutely. Now, what can we do about it? If you know a family that is in need, I've dropped the link in the chat. Be sure to check out cradlestocrayons.org and click the I Need Support button. And please, if you don't need, show it and introduce it to somebody that might. I'd rather children be with than without. Amen. I'm going back to the phone lines, and I am going to tap TJ. TJ want to talk to us about Stephen A. TJ, welcome to the Cleopatra Show. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Miss Cleopatra, Miss Draper. Listen, I'm glad you checked Mark Carter because, see, it's comments like that because his parents, and I knew he was a New Yorker, so I don't know where he was coming from, but it had to be about his parents. Listen, we all in, no matter where we come from, the islands, if you research your family, if they came from the islands or came straight from that, we all was bought and sold some form of fashion if you go back and look at your lineage. So he's wrong for even saying that he's not one of us. He is one of us. This and that. So let's get back to Stephen A. regarding that. So Ms. Cleo, Stephen A. is the NTN. And I want you to pay attention to this acronym because I was told this by a white boy when I was walking in.
Say it slow. He's a what?
NTN.
NTN. Okay, I got it.
Non-threatening Negro. I was told this by a white boy when I was in corporate. I don't work corporate anymore. I got my own business. I do my own thing. Because I can't do it because I ain't got the patience for it. And I would have been went off, and then you see me on TV with a case. I'm just being honest with you. I was a token. I know what a token is like as far as corporate America. I think if you are a true token, if you get to that status, you should bring forth the people behind you up. Now, I've been told there are people as far as that his company, ESPN, says that Stephen A is a great guy and he's brought up a lot of women and people. But why, if that is the case, why are you talking about certain women? You're so dishonoring for certain women, especially when you have a daughter yourself. He has one child. I know of his daughter. He speaks up. So if you're talking about black women, and he was raised black women because he said that on his show, so why are you disparaging these black women? Now, the NABJ was wrong because they should have gave Stephen A platform to discuss why he's talking about Kamala, Angela, and Reese and other black women, he had to spark. But, one thing he has not done, you would never hear him talk about, he has never, because I listen to his shows, mostly for a sake, I think that I can bear. In his podcast, he's never said nothing about a white woman or a Jewish woman because he knows that he can, at ESPN, he can bend the arrow, but he cannot push the arrow because he knows where his bread and butter. Because when you do that, two people, Jamil Hill and Ryan Clark, who just didn't renew their contract, they bent the arrow. They pushed the arrow, and now they got pushed out. There it is. That's my comment.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, when we come back, because I know Pam, Randy, Thurgood, I want to bless you all with some time to respond. For those that are tapping in, we're looking at Stephen A. Smith through the lens of the National Association of Black Journalists that I am a member of, if I may say so. And at the conference right here in Hotlanta, they gave him a thumbs down. And he was upset and wanted to know why wasn't he given a call before they had a caucus. So there was water cooler talk. But I'm curious, has Stephen A. Smith ever given anybody a chance to have a retort to his commentary, maybe a response thereafter, right? So is it good? What's good for the goose is it good for the gander? And as my father would say, there's never any fun when a rabbit got the gun. I want you all to chew on that. When we come back, Stephen A. Smith, we've already declared he's a New Yorker. To and through. He's born on these shores, and his parents were born in the territory that is also part of the United States. So let's deflate the commentary about immigrant status because it's not true. And let's bring up something that is true. Tokenism. If you can name a black token, who might that be? 77. No, it's not 773. Look at me. 312-705-5850. Now we're working with this temporary line. And I want to go back to that 591, but for right now, I want you all to stick with 312-705-5850. Give me a call. Let me know how you feel. I'm naming you Uncle Clarence Thomas, but I got a long list. Some new ones, some old ones, and the in-betweens. We'll be back after this break.
Shaping up to be a pleasant morning in Chicago as temperatures climb closer near 80. On this Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, I'm Annette Flanoyan in the headlines. Today is the first day back to class for students in South Suburban Country Club Hills, District 160. Thousands in Northwest Indiana, including Gary, have been without power for days, and many are relying on food giveaways following devastating storms. And buying a concert ticket through Ticketmaster may require a valid legal ID and a selfie. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the early urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 11:01.
BIN News Now. Some Southside residents are speaking out against a proposed data center redevelopment at the former Southworks Steel Plant site. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
If they were to do that, they would be strictly bound to the executive order that I have put forth to provide stronger regulations.
Opponents say they have concerns about the project's impact on the surrounding community. Netflix is seeking to dismiss Tyra Banks' defamation lawsuit over its America's Next Top Model documentary. Banks claims the film created a misleading portrayal of her role on the show, while Netflix says it stands by the documentary and plans to vigorously defend it in court. And Colin Kaepernick is marking nearly a decade since his protest against police brutality by committing $1 million to community organizations through his Know Your Rights camp. The initiative will fund education, legal rights, mental health, and youth programs in Black and Brown communities. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Back to Terry McCready.
3 U.S. states are holding primaries today, while California is holding a special U.S. House election. Races for the House, Senate, and governor are being held in Alaska, Wyoming, and Florida, where a crowded field of GOP candidates, including Black Representative Byron Donalds, is hoping to replace term-limited Governor Ron DeSantis. Several Democrats are also running. In California, 2 Democrats emerged from the June primary to see who will serve out the remainder of former Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell's term. Swalwell resigned after he was accused of sexual assault. Meanwhile, in Florida, Black progressive House candidate Elijah Manley is blasting Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz for attempting to dilute Black representation by running in a newly drawn South Florida district where she faces 4 Black candidates.
Yes, she has seniority and she has been an ally in many ways, but she should run in the 22nd district where she lives, where she could have helped pick up a seat for the Democratic Party in the midterms to add to our majority. But my lived experience as someone who grew up after the 2008 financial crisis and homelessness, we lost everything. That lived experience is so important in the district right now.
27-year-old Manley on NBC News. He says the former Democratic National Committee chairwoman's decision to seek re-election in Florida's redrawn 20th congressional district is cynical. President Trump is defending his directive to the Pentagon to scale back joint military exercises with South Korea. Trump telling reporters yesterday he had spoken with South Korea's president about getting a hand with Iran and was turned down.
But I called him, I said, would you like to give us a little hand? We don't need help with Iran, but if you'd like, give us a hand with Iran. He said, no, thanks. And I said, wait a minute, we have 39,000 soldiers over there guarding you from Kim Jong-un.
Trump said he was disappointed with the response given the U.S. has 39,000 troops stationed there guarding against any attack from North Korea. Trump said the U.S. cannot go around and protect all of the countries, especially when they are not around to help us. An attempt to address California's housing shortage is back on the November ballot. Proposition 1 asks California voters to approve borrowing over $11 billion for affordable housing. The plan includes just over $1 billion for veterans loans. Most funding comes from state bonds repaid by taxpayers. Supporters say thousands of housing units are ready to move forward but need funding. Opponents argue borrowing more won't fix the crisis and could cause long-standing unexpected costs for taxpayers. According to the state, the total cost could reach nearly $17.5 billion over 3 decades. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow BIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Chicago, get ready for a night of pure magic. On Saturday, August 29th, the Destiny's Child Iconic Reimagined Tribute lights up the historic Congress Theater. One unforgettable night celebrating the songs that defined a generation. Imagine Survivor, Say My Name, Independent Woman, Reimagined. A 5-piece string ensemble delivers a stunning symphonic interpretation of the hits and love songs you know by heart, blending contemporary sounds with the group's signature harmonies and those empowering lyrics that still move us today. And guiding you through it all, narrator Matthew Knowles, the management powerhouse who built Destiny's Child from Houston Dream to global phenomenon. Want the ultimate experience? Upgrade to VIP for premium seating and an exclusive meet and greet. But hurry, VIP packages are limited. From the moment the doors open, you'll feel it. It isn't just a concert, it's a celebration. The Destiny's Child Iconic Reimagined Tribute, August 29th, Congress Theater. Tickets at destiny'schild.com. Get yours before they're gone.
It's Rufus Williams.
The radio keeps our
ear to the pavement so we know what's going on in the community. And I got to say, what and how you've been doing it as my frat brother, but more importantly, what BON does, you are the new Ebony Jet that keeps our community connected.
Well, thanks. That's a huge compliment. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Aleve. At some point, body pain may creep in and become your reality that day. But Aleve is here to help keep you moving forward. One pill gives you up to 12 hours of body pain relief. So don't let pain hold you back. Try Aleve today. Use as directed.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Right now, we're headed to the north side where there's a report of an accident right there at the intersection of Lincoln and Greenview Avenue. Also, along the outbound side of the Eisenhower, we're seeing some delays because of that moving road work. Now is down at Holman, traffic backed up to Ashland. Taking a look at our weather, we're seeing some bright skies. The National Weather Service did promise some sunshine today, along with a mix of clouds. Temperatures climbing near daytime high of around 80. Temperatures right now in the mid to upper 70s. We've made it up to 76 at Midway. It's 76 in Auburn, Gresham, and 76 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
Now, doesn't this have to do specifically with your criticism of radical people on the left? And you did mention a couple of African-American women at times, Jasmine Crockett, who says nutty things, Joy Reid, who says, in my view, nutty things. Is that what this is about?
I think it is. I don't think there's any question about it. And that's why I spoke out against it, because I think it's utterly ridiculous. I was raised by 5 black women. My mother, God rest her soul, and my 4 older sisters. I have 2 daughters. I have 10 nieces. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I find it highly offensive that they would label me in this way. Give me a thumbs down award specifically for disparaging black women. I want everybody out there to know there's no such thing. That did not happen. That is a flat out lie. And that never happened. Whether it was Jasmine Crockett, whether it was Kamala Harris, whether it was Michelle Obama, I pointed to something that they said that I may have disagreed with. That is all. That is all that I have done. And to enjoy
you said about Michelle Obama, well, she could win. That's what I remember you saying about
her. But what? No. Yeah, but remember what happened is that I said that I did not appreciate her saying that a vote for Donald Trump was a vote against women, because I said there are a plethora of reasons why people go to a poll. Some people might prioritize the economy, immigration, safety in the streets of America, national security, etc. There are a plethora of reasons why somebody would choose to vote. To sit up there and to say to African-American men that a vote for Donald Trump would be a vote against women, I said, I don't think that's fair. And that's what I said. My point is, whether you agree or disagree, how does the word disparaging come into play? Or to talk about me degrading and denigrating black women? No, I had a difference of opinion about something that they may have said. And that is all. But a journalistic organization that's its foundation is supposed to be based on objectivity, and most importantly, uplifting African Americans within the journalism industry. Well, excuse me, what have I accomplished in my career? Where am I sitting at right now? On September 29th, I'm about to be inducted into the Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame. I've established myself as one of those people in this industry, but I'm not a
The time is 11:11. You are listening to a Turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show, and I'm warning you, buckle up, buttercup. That is Stephen A. Smith clapping back at the National Association of Black Journalists on Sean Hannity's show. Now, for those that know something about Sean Hannity, of all places to take it, why there? Now, to his point, he has a lot of accolades, but specifically the thumbs down award is his disparaging remarks towards black women and his mega platform, his mega microphone. They don't like what he had to say. Now, I want to hear what you have to say. When it comes to tokenism, I have played this clip that highlights not only Stephen A. Smith, but your Uncle Clarence Thomas, and others alike. As my super producer just put in my hands, I'm going to take a sneak peek into Florida. Speaking of another token. Ooh. But what is a token? It's 2026. How do you define it? Some of you all, according to Eddie, is confused. You've been a token the whole time because you the token on payroll. The clapback has been real. Now talk to me. Let's talk to Pam. Pam, welcome to WVON.
Hi, Cleopatra. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm on fire, Pam. I'm buckled up. Where we riding to?
Yes, you are. Girl, let me just first say this. Stephen Miller is not fit to lick Aaron Haynes' boots. And I'm just going to put it like that. He is not ready to have a real dialogue with her. So I would respectfully ask her to just refuse his invitation and keep it moving. I think the NABJ, they said exactly what they needed to say, and it's done. So Stephen Miller, with all his accolades, his wealth, and his money, just get over it and keep going. So I'm very content with that thumbs down.
Okay, amen.
So I shouldn't waste your time.
I'm trying to tell you. So if there was another token to award or acknowledge, who might that be?
Wow. Well, tokenism is interesting because you can have your individual tokens and then you have your collective tokens. So I would collectively, I'm going to say many of those who help support it daily and who help support Rahm Emanuel, I would call some of those people tokens.
I heard that. Spill all the tea, why don't you, Pam? I'm
serious about that. And lastly, let me just say to Eddie, many people are upset with some of the rappers, not because, well, some of their political views, but particularly when you talk about 50 Cent, look up C. Dolores Tucker and see what he did to that black woman who only tried to stand up for women who were being denigrated in rap music, in that culture. So that's many of us have an issue with rappers because of that reason. Kanye West, same thing, denigrating messages to black girls and women. But he didn't want his children to hear that music, but it was okay for the rest of the black girls. I'm just so dig a little bit deeper when you talk about those people because we need to know. And let me just say, immigrant is not a bad word to me, but the propaganda that the forces of the thug in the White House, the rapists in the White House, they're going to push that. And so you have others who want to push that propaganda.
What was the name of the victim, the sister? Give me that name again.
Oh, sure. That was C. Dolores Tucker.
C.
And
Dolores?
Her initial C, Dolores Tucker.
Dolores
and she was the sister when, rap music, the gangster rap first came out. All the sisters asked, she pleaded with the rappers in the industry not to do this, because this music was going to be harmful to our children and to the black community. And they just assaulted this sister verbally with their lyrics. It was Eminem, Nicki Minaj, 50 Cent, and a couple of other ones. It unleashed just a barrage of insults on her in their music.
I do remember this. I'm actually going to do a show in tribute. I thank you for always pouring into our cup. See how class, our excellent scholars add to our studies and let us remember this ancestor. You're absolutely right on that. Thank you so much for that. Listen, let's talk to Brother Thurgood. Thurgood, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Yes, good morning. Great show. I've enjoyed the different commentaries. But let us be clear. Stephen A. Smith, the A is for ass. The A is he's an absolute clown. What's the background? He came out and they critiqued, just unsolicited, the black woman, Congressman Crockett of Texas, an attorney, an accomplished policymaker. Now, what she was, attacking the Trump administration, pointing to the attack on our voting rights, the attack upon the fact that they were gutting education funding, housing, food. Do you have a right to be a black conservative? Yes, but I just don't understand the mindset. There were two cornerstone pieces of legislation that came out to the rights movement. The Voting Rights Act, they've gutted that, taking away black created districts, they've gutted that. And the Civil Rights Act, granting access to contracts, jobs, and other accommodations. The Trump administration openly is attacking those things. So how in the name of God do you remain a black conservative? Newsflash, most black people, many of your listeners, our initial foray into politics was attacking the Democratic Party, the Irish cabal. So when you tell me Democrats aren't necessarily in our corner, I mean, what else you got for me? Water is wet. It gets dark at night. This is utter foolishness. So Stephen A. Smith is the National Association of Black Journalists, which I have been an associate member of, was absolutely correct to critique him. And an observation. When you listen to the talk shows, there's no sports talk hosts on Meet the Press. There's no rapper on Meet the Press. These are scholars, attorneys, policy analysts, people who are social workers, people who understand societies. They drag out these coons in the Stephen A. Smith ilk. To say, well, I have the right to be a conservative. Give me a break. What would it take for black conservatives to admit we are under attack, that they are stripped naked and flogged in the corner of LaSalle and Madison? So the epitome of coonery and tommery is Stephen A. Smith. And so I applaud the National Association of Black Journalists in standing up to him and critiquing him. In this season, now more than ever, we need institutions like the National Association of Black Journalists because another thing, the Republicans are attacking the freedom of speech. Stephen A. Smith, not Stephen A. Smith, but there are different newspapers and media outlets who they are attacking for telling the truth, that God-given right that they're so patriotic about, that they have spent billions of dollars about. And mind you, you spoke of school supplies. This war is $1 billion a day with a B. One day could plug the Chicago City school budget and give you school supplies across the nation. So how you, as a black conservative, could applaud a party that is gutting education, food, and housing for across the nation is amazing. And I leave you with this. Don't take my word for it. Look at Fox News polling of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. It is at a record low, not in his administration, a record low in the history of the presidency. You know what else is a record? The amount of money that he has made in his presidency. $3 billion with a B in money from the Saudis, monies from Arab nations, thievery, bribery in plain sight. What will it take, black conservative, for you to acknowledge the corruption and the harm being done to our community? Blessings. Stephen
Absolutely.
A. Smith, clown.
Hey, you said it. When we come back, Brother Randy is holding on tight and you all are lighting up the chat. I can't wait to read some of this. I'm spilling all the tea. Buckle up, Buttercup, if you want to get on the ride with me on the TCS. We'll be back.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talk. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONWealthShow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC, member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me+3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me+3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Bond TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Bond TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
It's back to the Eisenhower due to that moving road work. It's on the outbound side, is now at Independence and has traffic slowed up all the way back to Ogden. Taking a look at our weather, we're seeing some sunshine as promised, not a lot. So there is a mix of clouds and sun today as temperatures climb near 80. The National Weather Service says there could be a few sprinkles as well this afternoon. Right now, temperatures are climbing nicely through the 70s. We've made it up to 78 at Midway. It's 78 in Chatham and 78 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Harnoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gone to stay.
And we are back. The time is 11:23, and we've been having a conversation. I'm clearly discussing tokenism. And this is in the spirit and the same vein of Stephen A. Smith receiving the Thumbs Down Award from the National Association of Black Journalism. The conference was held in Atlanta. Who came to talk to us is a friend of the show and always here to report to us. And then some. We didn't get just the actual tea from that, but the spill out has been all over. And clearly he took his pain to Sean Hannity. All places, Sean Hannity. I don't know what to say to that, but here's what I will say. The question of the day is, can you name a black token? And what does tokenism impact on Black America? Q Strotter in the chat said a black token black person is a single black individual included in a group, workplace, school, or TV show mainly to create the visual appearance of diversity rather than the genuine inclusion. The term is rooted in tokenism, which is the practice of making a symbolic effort to look fair or prevent criticism without making real systemic changes. Why does it matter? It provides a superficial illusion of inclusion while preserving underlying systemic inequities causing severe personal or organizational structures to not include us, right? The rest is very elongated, but I appreciate you rolling it out. Who's going to talk about it is Brother Randy. Brother Randy, welcome to WVON.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm in good spirits. I'm buckled up, Buttercup. Where we riding to?
Okay, all right. Well, what I'm going to do, I guess, try to share some information. Taking a trip to the adventures in Crazy Land. So, Stephen Smith represents the kind of black person who has internalized their own oppressions. Matter of fact, I'll give you examples of tokenism. Tim Scott. Okay, that Officer Tatum, the one who's been defending the white boys who had knowledge of the death of Nolan Wells. These are the people who have internalized their own oppression, and they represent what Dr. Malefi Asante, who coined the phrase Afrocentrism, was attributed to him. Dr. Malefi Asante, he taught at Temple University and has written numerous books about Afrocentrism and about black culture. He called them the anti-black blacks. And I have to unfortunately, I have to share that, I think including some of the people. I mean, I appreciate Pam, I appreciate Thurgood, and others who are conscious brothers and sisters, who try to basically tell the truth. And I have to throw, unfortunately, I have to share that, I think including some of the people. I appreciate Pam, I appreciate Thurgood, and others who are conscious brothers and sisters, who try to tell the truth. to share information and try to inform people. Mark Carter also had to fall under that anti-black label, because if you're being paid by the Republican Party to protect the interests of the Republican Party and stuff, and you benefit financially as well as materially from the financial party, what does that make you? I mean, you're doing it at the expense of black folks. And so this is a problem that we have in our community. The lack of unity in our community, because you have people from our community, that includes ADOs, including the FBAs and the Black Freedmen Group, that are constantly, they're toxic. They're trying to keep us divided. ADOs, who has connection to the group called the Progressives for Immigration Reform, which is a right-wing racist organization, right? There's a part of ADOS, headed by John Canton. You can check the Southern Poverty Law Center Intelligence Report, right, by John Canton, right, who's the head of the Progressive for Immigration Reform. Their job is to try to fragment our community and keep us fighting with each other. It's the old Willie Lynch, divide, conquer, rule. Willie Lynch letter. Keep the Negroes divided from 1712 or 1732 to 2032, whatever, 1712 to 2012. Well, have they been successful? It appears they have been, except for doing certain periods after the Civil Rights Movement, the Black Power period, when our brothers and sisters like Amiri Baraka and Sonia Sanchez were, and the people that's part of the Black Liberation and the Black Arts Movement, the Black Liberation Movement, started to raise the consciousness of our people. So they try to counter with obviously in the 70s and 80s, because they didn't want the people to pick up on these brothers and sisters who are conscious and aware, right? So you come with the gangster rap, and C. Dolores Tucker, who was connected, had been associates of members of the Republican Party of the Reagan Bush administration. She started to criticize the rappers, the gangster rappers, who basically they were disrespecting black women. They were demeaning and dehumanizing black women. That includes Nelly. That includes a number of others. But I won't keep you too long and anything like that, because much respect to you. I appreciate what you're doing. This is a serious issue. And I'm with the NABJ critiquing him. As a matter of fact, last thing is this. Claude Anderson wrote a number of books besides Black Labor, White Wealth. He wrote Dirty Little Secrets, Volumes 1 and 2. In there, he talks about the Haywood Shepard Award. I'm going to nominate Stephen Smith and Mark Carter and others for the Haywood Shepard Award, right? Haywood Shepard was the one who, back in the 1800s, tried to warn his white masters that John Brown and others would come to the plantations, right? On their way to the plantations to do whatever, right? So they shot Haywood Shepard, a black man, and the white folks erected a monument where the Haywood Shepard had fell, because they thought he was a good Negro. And so I think we got a bunch of good Negroes who do the bidding of white folks, and that is one of the problems we have in our community. The good Negroes who attack him, Brandon Johnson, who part of Chicago Phillips Red. These are the people that we need to watch out for, and we need to monitor, and we need to deal with them properly. So keep up the excellent work. I appreciate you.
Right on, right on. Listen, Brother Randy had me over here just typing. This is why class is in session. I have the most astute listening audience in the world, and I don't take that for granted. The volume of what we can put out and what we can critique and what we can build is enormous. So please don't count us out, count us in. As we continue onward, the phone lines are definitely yours. 312-705-5850. I will jump into the chat because the chat has been banging. It is up like a crescendo. When we come back, I'm going to talk that tea, but buckle up, Buttercup. I'm going down for a ride. You can take me to the tundra. We're talking about tokenism and what that means and the impact in Black America. We'll be back after this break.
A mix of clouds and sunshine. The National Weather Service says we could see sprinkles later today as temperatures climb near 80. Good morning. I'm Annette Fernoy, and here's what's happening. Today is the first day back to class for students in South Suburban Country Club Hills, District 160. Classes were delayed after last week's powerful storms. School officials used yesterday as an emergency day to make sure the building was safe for children to return. Meanwhile, it's back to class for all Chicago Public School students this Monday. Well, the first of 5 public listening sessions in search for a new police superintendent happened last night at Malcolm X College. Perry Williams has more.
Romel Terry, who heads the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, which will select a new police boss, was in attendance last night at Malcolm X College.
We don't know who's going to apply, and our goal is to ensure that we are effectively reviewing every candidate and lining them up to what we're hearing from Chicago.
The commission has 120 days to hear from the public, consider candidates, and submit 3 top finalists to the mayor's office for selection. I'm Perry Williams.
Another listening session is set for next Tuesday at 6:30 at Kennedy High School on West 56th Street. Then after that, the next meeting is on Thursday at 6:30 at Morgan Park Academy on 111th Street. The Community Commission for Public Safety has until November 12th to come up with 3 finalists. Larry Snelling retired last month. Fred Waller is serving as interim. Well, the mayor of Robbins is still recovering from a minor gunshot injury. Last Saturday, a man identified as Markel Ross entered a Harold's Chicken and started shooting. Village spokesman Sean Howard says the mayor was picking up food at the time.
Fortunately, it was isolated. The mayor wasn't the intended target, and we're just praying for everyone involved because I'm sure this was a very traumatic experience for the patrons here as well.
Authorities say a private security guard shot the suspect, who later died. Well, buying a concert ticket may require a valid legal ID and a selfie. Ticketmaster has linked up with ID verification company Persona. According to Ticketmaster, the goal is to cut back on abuse by scalpers who buy in bulk to make a profit and allow people to get a fair shot at purchasing a ticket. Now, Ticketmaster says Persona will automatically kick in if the system detects fraud, and then will require the user to provide a real ID along with a matching selfie. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 11:33.
Chicago, are you ready? Chicago Public Schools are back in session Monday, August 24th. It's time to get the backpacks ready, sharpen those pencils, set those alarms, and get 300,000 students ready for another year of learning, growth, and possibility. To every CPS student, parent, teacher, and school leader, we're cheering you on because education is the great equalizer. It's the pathway from opportunity to possibility. Let's start this school year strong. Chicago Public Schools back to school Monday, August 24th. WVON cares.
This August, renew your spirit only on Vaughn TV. Watch Behind Our Walls, a powerful documentary following incarcerated men pursuing a college education through the Calvin Prison Initiative. It's an inspiring story of determination, redemption, and the transformative power of second chances.
There's a lot of bad things that happen in prison. It's a dark place. You have all the time in the world. So you can either become a better human being or you become a worse human being. And the choice is yours.
Then spend time with Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and friends. Uplifting conversations about wellness, self-care, resilience, and living with intention. August on Vaughn TV offers stories that stay with you long after they're over. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Rent a boat, bring your own, or fish from shore. The Forest Preserves of Cook County has more than 40 fishing sites across Cook County. This message brought to you by the Forest Preserves of Cook County. Visit fpdcc.com to explore the Forest Preserves.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Well, now we're tracking a new accident. This one on the Stony Island feeder is northbound right there at 95th Street. Also along the Eisenhower, we're seeing that moving road work move once again. It's on the outbound side. It's now at Cicero. Traffic backed up to Western. Taking a look at our weather, we were promised some sunshine, but right now we're seeing a mix of clouds and sun. The National Weather Service says a warm day in store as we head to a daytime high near 80. with the possibilities of some light sprinkles this afternoon. Temperatures tonight going down into the 60s. 65 is our low. But right now, we've made it into the upper 70s. We're up to 78 at Midway, is 78 in Beverly, and 78 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
You treating me so bad. You said you love me, don't wanna fuck me, and I thought you had. Your heart is beating for you, I can't stop crying. I don't know how you to treat me this way and stay. See, my days are cold without you, are you? Hurting my heart, no more, I keep on.
Among the institutions that was hoping that he would not continue with these kinds of remarks and with these kinds of with this kind of rhetoric specifically against Black women. That is not something that happened. As you clearly are outlining, there is a pattern here, and that is the pattern, that I really felt compelled to address, and that this board felt the need to address as president. I will say again, NABJ did not make this decision casually, right? Like we definitely stand behind the award and the concerns behind it. And I am willing to discuss those concerns directly with him, but the pattern speaks for itself. And it's a pattern that we felt compelled to address because of what kind of rhetoric what this kind of rhetoric enables and really normalizes, right? Particularly when it comes to powerful Black women. We're seeing this from the highest levels of our government in addition to, what we had to call out this weekend. So this recognition wasn't about one comment or one moment. You showed that. This is about a broader pattern and the responsibility that really comes with having a significant platform. Don, if it was you doing this, we'd be in the same place, right? And hopefully we'd be having a conversation about this.
But we would be on the phone about it. I mean, or talking about it. I would say, hey, whatever. But yeah, go on.
But
before that happened, though, Aaron, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
That was a series of things. During the first one, you know what I mean? I would have been like, I don't know if I would have gone on with a series of those.
Yeah,
in succession.
And that's just the thing, right? I mean, look, no, it's cool. We are where we are now. Our hope is that this leads to a meaningful dialogue and meaningful change, right? Not just as it pertains to Stephen A., but really for anybody that has a platform that is disrespecting or diminishing or undermining Black women. So, I mean, that really is what it is about for me. And look, I get it.
And we are back. The time is 11:39, and you are hearing Don Lemon and Erin Haynes, president of NABJ. She's serving 2 terms. Her term is up in 2027. And she's standing on business when it comes to the thumbs down award that was gifted from the NABJ president and the board of directors to Stephen A. Smith. Now, we've had the conversation all morning, and we've looked at this from a couple of different lenses. I'm in the same building, and some of you all got different views when it comes to the why. So I elevated the conversation to tokenism and how we see this and the impact it has in Black America. And the award, you all have agreed overwhelmingly is most befitting to Stephen A. Smith, but not singularly with Stephen A. Smith. Some of you all have named your Uncle Clarence Thomas that serves on the Supreme Court. And some of you all have taken ire to the only other Black senator that's not Corey. And I'm looking at your Uncle Tim Scott, right? And if you can name some more, give us the reason why. What does it take to be a token in 2026? What does that look like? And is it just tokenism and white culture? See, I don't have another 3 hours of power to school you all what tokenism look like on a Black funny farm. I could point that out too. Is tokenism just what it looks like opposed to white structure? Systemically white structure, white supremacy structure. Okay, you find it in the Black culture too. Tokenism, it is what it is, right? And of that board, the executive board, I'm going to name them. You have Erin Haynes, who's the presiding president, Eva D. Coleman, vice president. She's with print. Sian Nakor, parliamentarian. That's what's going to put you out. You start cutting up. Walter Smith Randolph, vice president, broadcast. Corey Atkinson, secretary. Roland Martin, vice president, digital. And Jasmine Stiles, treasurer. And then you have some regional directors. You have 4 of them. And then you have representatives, 3 of those. And I guess in a democracy, overwhelmingly, they approved this message. We are working to reach out to President Haynes because her sentiment was crystal clear. And what her and Don Lemon unpacked is that there was a pitter pattern of behavior that was undeniable with the attacks that they raised up about Stephen A. Smith when it came to Black women and how he uses his mega platform to diminish them, to denigrate them. And Stephen A. Smith is saying, hey, I come from women. I'm surrounded by women. I've given birth to women. That's not true. Well, the facts do speak for itself, and President Haynes has made it clear that if you don't believe them, Google it, research it, however you see fit. And then you be the determining factor. Whether you agree or not, the disparaging remarks, are they what they say that they are? And why is Stephen A. Smith, here's the real question, why is he so hurt by receiving a thumbs down award? Now, some of you all have acknowledged that the money he's making, why should he care? You know, Willie Alexander, and I do have this on my desk, he says Stephen A. just had Byron Donaldson, who is my token on his show, and he did not press him. He let him get away with a bunch of lying. Donald Trump called Stephen A. Smith stupid. Stephen A. Smith said nothing about it. That's the issue I have with him. I do too. I mean, the fact that he on Sean Hannity's show tells me all I need to know. But okay, the fact that the president, you're one of those low IQ'd, so low IQ'd, right? Called him stupid. I think that's important. So I had my super producer do some research for me because I couldn't understand why would a grown man care about receiving a thumbs down award. And I guess it means a lot. So the National Association of Black Journalists handed out 5 thumb down awards at its annual convention in Atlanta on this past Saturday, the most this in the organization's history. One recipient, as we've talked about, is Stephen A. Smith. But according to Roland Martin, the award was first given in 1989 and says there have been 44 awardees. I wanted to know who the 44 were. Matt, tell Sonia I want to know that. Because if he is in the Hall of Fame of 44 other, who might they be? And why is it so bad to be in the Hall of Fame of the Thumbs Down Award? Because clearly it's not a positive accolade, so much so he's taken and commanded national attention to cry about it. The phone lines are yours. 312-705-5850. Yes, I'm hanging out on the foreign line, but we're not on foreign shores. We're still at the WVON studios, and that's how you can reach the TCS. Let's talk to Andre. Andre, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning to you, Miss Cleopatra Favorite Millennium. How you doing today?
I'm on fire. I'm buckled up, Buttercup. Now, if you're taking me on a roller coaster, let's ride.
Well, I'll take you on the roller coaster, but guess what? We're going in reverse in the roller coaster.
Oh, hey, you know, Six Flags used to have that ride. My brother took me on it. It is disturbingly dangerous, but keep going.
Right.
I'm buckled up.
So when I say when I go in reverse, I'm gonna say tokenism today doesn't mean the same thing that tokenism meant back in the 60s. Because see, some of the token blacks were heroes. I'll give you an example. Sammy Davis Jr., Sidney Poitier. You got some black entertainers that were token blacks at the time, but they opened the door for us, for the other black people. But these modern day tokens like a Stephen A. Smith, not Stephen Miller, Stephen A. Smith, those type of tokens should get a thumb down because they are speaking against us, where the other blacks that opened the door for us, they were advocates for us. So tokenism back in that day, those were our heroes. But the token blacks of the day, they're an embarrassment to the black community, Ms. Cleopatra.
No, I appreciate that. Right on. In fact, I've done some in-depth research about Sammy Davis Jr. I find him to be interesting, particularly from the lens of the Rat Pack. You want to talk about token? Who? And the Rat Pack would come and hang on to 5, and I'm talking about 75th Street. All right, so yeah, and I remember when he was booed right there at was it the Rainbow Push Coalition? I saw Eyes on the Prize, right? And he spoke directly to the heart of the Black people because he was with Reagan all the way. You know, he was asking for forgiveness after that. But the point is, I think when we identify tokenism, somehow or another, I don't know if it's genetic or what, we just welcome folk back into the fold. So we didn't leave Sammy Davis on the outs for long, but he did feel the brunt of how Black people rebuked him. Very interesting point. Historical context of the award. It was incepted in 1989 to apply pressure for anti-press practices, insensitivity, or institutional harm. And I am talking about the NABJ Thumbs Down Award. And it put a target on folks. So who has been a recipient? The Washington Post, CBS, particularly called out for regarding the editorial independence following corporate acquisition changes. Brendan Carr, DeJuan McCoy. You know, DeJuan McCoy was cited over concerns and allegations regarding his treatment of Black journalists. So this has been a target and a practice for, if I'm 39 and 5, 37 years. So this is not new. So why is Stephen A. Smith crying as though he had not partaked in this? I guess he thought he'd never be a recipient. And it's unflattering, of course, but it also allows us to be reflective in the moment. So I am asking, you know, if you can identify a token in 2026, what does that look like? Who is it? And what is it? What are the attributes, the characteristics? Because when this was created, it was designed to do exactly what it's doing. It's causing your attention and mine to really uplift. What is the problem here? The problem is the people that he had to put down to step up. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The future of Chicago's children is on the ballot. 21 seats, one school system, one historic election. Chicago is choosing the people who will help determine what happens inside our classrooms, how billions of education dollars are spent, which schools get resources, and which communities get hurt. And for Black Chicago, the stakes could not be higher. Who will fight for our children? Who will demand better academic outcomes? Who will confront declining enrollment, school funding, safety, accountability, and the future of neighborhood schools? And most importantly, who will decide the future of Chicago public schools? WVON is going beyond the campaign slogan. We're talking to the candidates. We're challenging the promises. We're asking the questions our community deserves answers to. 21 seats, one school system, one historic election. The decisions made at the ballot box to shape Chicago's children for a generation. Chicago votes, WVON covers it. And you'll hear it first on WVON 1690 AM, the Talk of Chicago.
Here's 90 seconds to stronger crisis communications for nonprofits. We're offering practical expert advice to help you navigate situations, maintain credibility, and keep your communities you serve engaged and informed. Let's meet this moment together.
The reporter is calling. Your staff has questions. Your board wants answers. Who's handling it? Don't wait until a crisis hits to decide. Every nonprofit should have a crisis response team with clearly defined roles, including a lead spokesperson and a backup. Know who communicates with staff, who updates the board, who handles the media, and who contacts donors and community partners. Because multiple people speaking without coordination can quickly turn one problem into two. Today's tip: identify your crisis team, assign the roles, and make sure everyone knows who speaks for your organization. When uncertainty arrives, leadership should already know where to stand. Now, wasn't that 90 seconds well spent?
This has been 90 seconds to stronger crisis communications for nonprofits. It's part of our Meeting the Moment feature powered by the Chicago Community Trust. Join our Meeting the Moment movement by signing up at WVON.com/Meeting the Moment.
Chicago, get ready for a night of pure magic. On Saturday, August 29th, the Destiny's Child Iconic Reimagined Tribute lights up the historic Congress Theater. One unforgettable night celebrating the songs that defined a generation. Imagine Survivor, Say My Name, Independent Woman, Reimagined. A 5-piece string ensemble delivers a stunning symphonic interpretation of the hits and love songs you know by heart, blending contemporary sounds with the group's signature harmonies and those empowering lyrics that still move us today. And guiding you through it all, narrator Matthew Knowles, the management powerhouse who built Destiny's Child from Houston Dream to global phenomenon. Want the ultimate experience? Upgrade to VIP for premium seating and an exclusive meet and greet. But hurry, VIP packages are limited. From the moment the doors open, you'll feel it. It isn't just a concert, it's a celebration. The Destiny's Child Iconic Reimagined Tribute, August 29th, Congress Theater. Tickets at destiny'schild.com. Get yours before they're gone.
It's the afternoon show.
Those people that are saying, I am not my ancestors, are speaking from a place of privilege only given to them by their ancestors. So how can you come here now, right, when they've shed all the blood, when they've been bitten by all the dogs, when they've been hosed down by all the hoses, when they've been slapped in the face by all the cops, and here you come after laws have been passed to say what you wouldn't allow. I am not my ancestors. I think that is insanely disrespectful.
Weekdays at 3 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. WVON, traffic and weather now.
Taking a look at our traffic, there is no changes in your travel times. Looking at the inbound and outbound Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, everything should be moving at the posted speed. Looking at northbound and southbound DeSable Lakeshore Drive, it is also under 15 minutes. Taking a look at the Kennedy inbound, it's 23 minutes, and outbound Kennedy, 30 minutes. Taking a look at our weather, we're partly cloudy today after being promised some sunshine. We'll be heading to a daytime high of 81 and tonight a low of 65. Currently, temperatures are holding at 77 degrees at O'Hare, 77 in Hyde Park, and 77 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Kayla Patton on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 11:54, and I've had a blast to be with you all on a turbulent Tuesday, but I'm still buckled up, Buttercup. I got one more ride I'm going to take, and I'm going to take it with Wes. Now, I don't know which way he want to take me. He can take me east, north, south, but I'm strapped in, Wes. Welcome to WVON.
Hey, appreciate it, my sister. I'm going to take you down south from Atlanta. Hey, look here, only problem I got with Steve A. Smith, now check this out. This is a fact. He got a basketball camp for underprivileged youth. And check out, he charging them $3,000, man. Okay? He can say all he wants to. I don't care about if he's flapping his dog, but that basketball camp, he charges $2,999 for underprivileged children. $3,000. I can't get over that, man. He charging them little children that, man.
Yeah, that ain't right. He need a that ain't right award, too, on top of a thumbs down. That ain't right.
Right, you can look it up. It's all posted. That's why I like to look up stuff, but it's posted. That summer camp, man. That's what you're right. That ain't right, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you keep it moving.
Okay. I thank for the ride down south. Now let me see where Brother Chris want to take me. I'm buckled up, Brother Chris. Welcome to WVON.
Miss Cleopatra, good afternoon. Shout out to the WVON family. So Stephen A. Raccoon, it has outraged, but when the president...
Wait a minute. You call this man a raccoon?
Yes. He was not outraged when President Catering Truck had in the damn catering truck called him an idiot and low information a couple weeks ago. And then when you're talking about raccoons, Clarence Thomas will not get mistaken for Thurgood Marshall. And all the gifts he's taken, the money he's taken, grifting. He got Harlan Crow paying for his mother's house, and then Clarence Thomas, he adopted some kid. They were paying his tuition. So, the hypocrisy, and like I said, I guess it's the Raccoon Olympics, and add Officer Tatum to the mix, like Randy said. Have a great day. Thanks, Cleopatra.
Absolutely. I am falling out. Now, I was just communicating with one of my siblings. I just didn't understand what happened to his man fur. Now, I can have this conversation later with the gentleman, but as we age, because I can't say as you age, because I'm aging like fine wine, but as you age, what's up with the man fur that runs away from your face, right? Like, it doesn't make you look younger. It's actually weird to me. So if I was to add in anything, like now I see not even just the whole lip, like the entire mouth. It doesn't work out. Like, I wish he would just grow the beard back, but maybe he was uncomfortable with it being a salty beard. I'm not knowing the case, but the fact that his man fur has ran away from his face is very concerning to me. So I'm not even trying to be funny, but here's the deal. To Brother Chris's point, your president, Donald John Trump, responded to reporters by saying he thinks Smith is a nice guy, but added that running for president requires a certain aptitude and a high IQ, qualities he doubted Smith possesses. Damn. So listen, guys, it has been a blast to be with you all. I appreciate all the love in the chat. I see you all still talking that talk, and I love it like that. Now, tomorrow is Fired Up Wednesday. We've been buckled up, and I'd have been to and through the woods riding with you all about this topic. But tomorrow, across my desk, I didn't want to introduce it haphazardly, but I am going to pay attention to the primaries in Florida. Now, I liken myself to be that black girl Kornacki, and you all know me to be an operative at night, right? So as we talk about politics, I'm going to put a cap in it. Culture, arts, and politics. I'll put a cap in anybody asks tomorrow when it comes to these results. And I am paying attention to the next token, and that is Brian Donalds. He is loved by Trump. And I'm just trying to ask the question, when he says Jim Crow was the best thing that was gifted to black folks and how we went through that and came out stronger because of it. It's very interesting what Florida will decide when it comes to Byron Donalds. I will be paying attention to that, and I'm coming in with some piping hot tea, and I implore you all to do so too. So I'm doing a homework check tomorrow, because if you want to show up for class, I'm imploring you to come up with your facts straight, right? Come with your chest held high, your chin up, because we are going there, and I'm hoping to have this very opinionated columnist join me as we talk about not only Byron Donalds, but just the culture of the South and the rebuke. What is going on in Florida? I'm telling you, house values are deplorable. Folks are abandoning it. It is no longer the Sunshine State ever since your president done moved downtown. And when he moved downtown, he didn't move his diapers adjusted appropriately, because Don Lemon is dragging him because his diaper was revealing. I can't wait to have this conversation with you. So I appreciate being with you today. I expect you all to show up to class tomorrow, only on the Cleopatra Show at 9 a.m. And it's piping hot. I don't know. Byron may pull this off, but if he pulls it off, what does it say about Florida? What does it say about the direction of the South? And what does it say about the expectations of putting a Byron Donalds in position? Hey, Black America, I'm talking to you. Only tomorrow at 9 a.m. And guess what, guys? I get the first to break it. 773-591-1690 is back. Maddie Mack can be in the studio, and we can get rid of this foreign number, because we always been on some concrete shores here at WVON. Can't wait to hear you all call me tomorrow on the hotline, on the main line.
I hope you're blessed on this Tuesday. I'm Kayla Patton, and in the headlines, the investigation continues into a deadly shooting in South Suburban Robbins that left Mayor Darren Bryant injured. Indiana Governor Mike Braun announced a $5,000 grant to help storm victims across the state. And the FAA is investigating after 2 airplanes suffer tire damage at O'Hare. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.